We're about to take it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Tony and Lee on the radio. Dr. Joe's therapy on the radio. The love got me going live on the radio. Two mics and the mind on the radio. Radio, turned up 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 on the radio. Two nights and the mind. Two nights and the mind. Two nights and the mind. Two nights.
Watch this.
And the mind.
Hello.
Yeah.
In the mind. I'm one of your hosts, and I'm joined my co-host. How is everyone doing tonight?
Woo! Pretty good. Pretty good. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. What more can I say? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Y'all see my background? I'm in the city tonight. I'm spending the night in the city.
Nice. Where in the city are you?
Mind your business. Just mind your business. Just mind your business.
You can't share it, then don't share.
Hey, I can do that. I can do that.
Okay.
Don't just hate them situations with people
Look.
tell you something, then you ask a follow-up question. They be like, no.
All I'm saying is I have a little notebook for you. And in that little notebook, I have a list.
You got a little notebook with a list?
Yes, for you. In particular, Love Doctor.
What kind of list? A list of questions for me?
One day.
I
On
remember-
the day of your wedding, I want to give a speech.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, if you hit that cash out, I'll consider it. Hit that cash out. If you want to make a speech on the day of the wedding, need to hit that cash out, Dr.
That's
Joe.
right.
Rather than Joe, if you can't give 10, give 20. If you can't give 20, then give 30. Tula, if she can't give 30, tell her what she need to give.
Give a hoot.
Wow.
Wait.
Welcome to the show.
What's happening? What's happening?
What's going on?
Yeah, you're in the same. We're in trouble.
Let's stop the time.
Hold on, I'm just singing in Spanish. Mother, dying. Let me go say.
Madre, hay muchos gente muriéndose.
Oh my goodness. What? Look at she going. Oh my goodness. listen, gotta love you anyway. No, we gotta love you.
I mean, I'm translating, preacher. I'm following orders.
You listen. You've been doing good too now. Why they be messing around now?
Yeah.
Well, no, I can't check it. I just gotta believe that what you tell me, that's what it is.
We really have done a great job.
Yes,
She
you have.
has been doing a great job because I know a little Spanish and she been translating correctly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got a hairline. Don't know what I was thinking. But man, look, say who got a hairline? He said he got a hairline. Well, who got a hairline?
You.
Oh, me? Oh man, I've been here that. Oh yeah. Listen, that what happened. Listen, when you go see the right people and you pay your money, they give you your hair back and they'll give you a hairline. Yes, sir. That's my
Preacher
hair.
has been having a hairline. You just didn't notice it.
Yeah. And you saw that gray on the side. Look at my grandbaby kept. He said, "Papa," he said, "you got some in your hair." I am. That's what he said. He said, "It's some white in your hair." I said, He said, "What is that?" I said, "That's wisdom." He said, "What did you get that?" I said, "Keep living. You'll get some too."
That's all right. How everybody week been going?
Listen, man, we trying to make it. Dun, dun, dun.
Dr. Joe, y'all got any important stories y'all want to share about your weekend? How the week been going? Anything spectacular happened to any of y'all?
Spectacular. Wow, that's a heavy word to fulfill. I don't think anything spectacular happened.
All right.
Well, Listen, how about this? What's the update with the organization that we had on the show? We was trying to help out with the trafficking, sex trafficking. Was it sex trafficking or just trafficking kids?
In general, it's they do a whole bunch of work with trafficking and kids that have been kidnapped. They deal with the Amber Alert. But I have them on hold because I told them that I would eventually let them know since we have another event eventually happening, and then I'll let them know what we will decide to do.
Sponsoring them and trying to help out with them. What's the next? What I know y'all, because I know we was trying to set up. You and Tula was trying to set up to do something with them. As far as setting up an event, if I'm correct, we're trying to help with the prevention. I want to say help with sex trafficking because I might take that the wrong way. He said you're gonna help them sex trafficking. Yeah, when you stupid, you hear what you want to hear. No, we was talking about trying to help with the prevention, basically help with the recovery. I don't know how much prevention they actually do. I think more or less what they deal with is the recovery of trying to recover our kids. This is something that I suggest. We need to come up with an organization to help with the prevention. One of it is called parenting. Would y'all agree with that? Parenting is one of the biggest solution we can get with help with the decrease of sex trafficking of our kids. If people, our women, and I say our women simply because it's unfortunate that it's not all of our men, but a lot of our men have become non-productive, non-active in the child's life. And I know what it's like. I had a baby mama years ago who was a little unhinged, so therefore being problematic, and that can, render a situation of where the father is not as active in the child's life. And a lot of time women would do that. And I would encourage women with this, as well as the father, how to stay active in your kid's life, especially fathers and mothers. If you tend to disagree or don't agree with the father, don't keep the kid away unless there's some detrimental. You find the person being an endangerment to the child, the person's not providing, and that's argumentative on that. But I really think that if a man is going to be there, he want to kick up and fight for his kid, he should at least be supporting them. Yeah. Go ahead.
My story to kind of back up, my job is confidential, a lot of the things that I do, but I do want to say briefly a story to back up what you're saying. One of the kids a while ago, I would say a couple of months ago, I screened for child trafficking because the mother had allowed the kid to be with the uncles and the aunt, and the kid ran away. So I had to report. The kid contacted me. I had to report it, had to speak to the detective in charge of the case. And it comes out that the uncle and the aunt had a history of three kids in the past had run away too. I call the parents. When I speak to the parents, there's no care. No, I did not. No, it's just no care at all. And I know a lot of the times I come hard on the parents, but it's because of the experiences I've had in my job. Usually the parents are not responsible when I speak to them. I know it's not all parents, and I know some kids, just come out of the hands of the parents. I understand that, but majority of the time, it has to do with the background of the parents. The mom did not know that the child was being sex trafficked in the house of the uncle, and it's just and then the other kids that ran away, it was the same situation. How you not know your child is being sex trafficked in a family member's house? So it was a whole mess. So to me, it's you need to be more involved. And it was because she was working. She was very busy. The mother was very busy. So she sent it to a family member. But she's being abused in the family member's house. But who to blame? Do I blame the parents? Do I blame the uncles? I have to blame the parents because you're responsible for this child.
Why did she say that? I'm just curious.
I couldn't hear you.
Far away? Do you know
supposedly she works a lot, so she has no time to take care of the child. And then the aunt is a homestay mom, homestay mom. She stays there.
I never heard of a homestay mom. I just caught what you said. Stay at home mom. I mean, listen, she said homestay mom. I thought she. I was
okay, you were just preacher.
No, listen, when you said it, I thought she was like a healthcare lady, homestay mom. I said, okay, like healthcare. And I thought about it. She's trying to say.
Yeah, and then and when I would speak to, and the thing is that I have some kids that are in Florida or North Carolina or South Carolina. Some of them I have to see them. I can't go check on them, so it's on the phone, and it's like it's really difficult. And then I went to see them one time, but it looked fine. When you go see them, you don't go see them consecutively. It's just randomly, like, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go visit you this day to see how do the assessments, do the treatments, and then everything looks nice, but then they can prepare for that day versus a random check, or whatever the case may be. But it's so sad at some point that the detective was like, she couldn't arrest because they didn't have concrete, like the kid had ran away, so she couldn't give the testimony.
Okay.
So it was very difficult. And then the other kid had already turned 18. They gave the testimony, but now they're 18. And it becomes difficult once time passes by and you're out of age. So, to me, it's like parents be a little bit more involved. If you're not ready to be a parent, don't be a parent. It's okay.
Let me share with you a different perspective. Because I think you spot on with everything that you said. I almost was a victim when I was a child coming up. When we was coming up, it was no such thing as sex trafficking. It was called kidnapping. So I was almost a victim of kidnapping coming up. The only thing that saved me is I remember that we had a program at school where we have a police officer would come in. They would tell us about drugs and things of this nature. This when I was in elementary school. The police officer, he would basically tell us, say, hey, because I was what's called a walker. I would walk home from school. Mm-hmm. And what would end up happening is the police officer, I remember he telling us one day, one story, he said, kids, if you ever walking home from school, if you ever have a stranger in a car pull up next to you, roll down the window and say, hey, come get in the car. I got some candy and stuff like that. It was like immediately just run and yell as far as you can and just run. Like, do not go to the car. Don't get the candy. Just run. They're trying to kidnap you. And I remember I was walking home one day from school and I was literally maybe about 500 feet away from being at my house. And I remember the car pulled up next to me. It was a guy. He rolled down the window and he said, hey, get in the car. I got some candy. And he showed me some candy.
Wow.
And instantly, right before I started to reach for the candy to get in the car, my instincts took off to say run. And that's when I just jetted off and I ran. And he sped off in the car. And I ran all the way home. Yeah. And I have parents, you know what I'm saying? Both of my parents, they did a wonderful job raising me. It just sometimes you have so much sickos and just in terms of risk and the possibility of risk and exposure to all different aspects. And that was just a particular aspect I wanted to just share with you.
How old were you?
Elementary school, probably like 4th or 5th grade.
Wow. Yeah, in that case, that, like I said, they are parents and it happens. Like I said, it's not all parents. But in the case that I was saying where family members are involved, that's where I'm like, why? And then when Preacher is saying, it's like there's a lot of aftermath, right? Therapists, social workers, case managers, but there's no program to prevent, there's very few programs that are helping to prevent. It's more like, hey, we help the aftermath when they already have traumas and they've been abused and kidnapped. And so
let me ask you something about that. Would that fall into the hands of the parent for prevention? Because
it didn't.
And then I'm saying the programs come because of failed parenting or if something happens during that particular time.
Right. It's so bad that the aftermath is like, okay, let's bring the parents for parent coaching, for family therapy to kind of teach of like what should have you done so this to prevent this in particular. So now it's like we're trying to find like where did this stem from? Okay, parents need to come in because if this is happening to a child, hey, what can we do to support you so that you could be a better parent and not allow this to happen again?
A lot of programs that are in place are they're not preventive measures. They're measures that come because something has happened.
Correct.
Can I say this on this? Like, we have a young lady here. She actually hit me privately as well. I can't remember her name, but we had a family password. People had to tell us if my parents sent them to pick us up, and the young lady texted me. I can say her name here on there. She said the family password was "Get in the car. Hey kid, come here. Would you like some candy? I can give you a ride home." This was some of the passwords that the parent had given this kid here. If a stranger pulled up, they knew that was not a stranger. So if the person pulled up and gave them those words and said, "Hey, hey kid, get in the car. Hey, where are you going? Hey, you're cute. You need a ride." So all of those are good passwords for your parents to give you to let you know whether you should get in the car with another stranger. Mm-hmm. Appreciate that. What's her name? Sarah. I'll text Sarah Pratt. Oh, appreciate that. The passwords. Also, smash that like button in there, right? Subscribe.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. Yeah, I agree. Parents should look at that. Now, I want to say this too. Say, hey, y'all, I'm driving. That's very impressive. Why you listen to the show? That's all right. Appreciate that, Chris. Good to know that. So check this out. Now, this story about him being kidnapped. First of all, how do we know these people kidnapping him? If you did not get in the car, they did not drive you out, if they did not tell you to kidnap you, how do you know these people were kidnappers? They could have. Sometimes, now let me say this. Sometimes, some people just friendly people. I definitely want to tuck the candy and say, go with them. But a lot of times, sometimes we can jump the gun. Those people probably took off. They're like, I tried to help this little homeless kid out and give him something to eat. And he just took off. And now they're looking at, I don't want to go to jail for trying to help this little kid. So you might have this person still riding around today feeling like they was a child kidnapper when they were actually trying to help you. Did they drive? Did they pick you up? Did you get in the car with them? So for all you know, they could
you ain't listen to the story, did you? I said I ran away.
Oh no, I know what you said. I was going to grab the can and down, and my instinct kicked in. Your instinct kicked in. You wouldn't have went to that car. Your instinct kicked in. They would have never had that conversation. You would have did like I did. I was walking to school, 5 years old. We had no conversation. You didn't stop. You didn't even look at the people. You side-eyed. You kept going. You did not go. What your parents said when they found out you went to the car to grab the can of your instinct?
I never told my parents that story. They never.
They listen to the show now. Now, what you think they're gonna say now?
He grown now.
They're gonna probably say why he didn't listen to the family password. If they say,
I remember most of the stuff that happened to me, close calls happened to me when I was always in close proximity to my house. I remember the first time the only time I had a gun pulled on me. I was right in front of my house by the mailbox. I also remember my younger sister, a similar situation happened to her when she was at the bus stop. And I found out about it and I went and I chased the guy.
The guy was in a car, he was on foot.
No, when I saw the guy, he was on a bicycle. When I saw him. Wait, hold on. I'm telling two different stories. One story is about when I had a gun pull him in front of the mailbox. The second story is when my sister was at the bus stop. So the story about my sister at the bus stop, that particular guy who I ran and I chased him, I did not catch him. When I saw him, he was on a bicycle. As far as the guy who came in front of my house, I was just hanging around with the wrong crowd. I was trying to be tough, hang around with a boy who was no good, and got caught up with him.
You done, Brett. Brett, don't let people see you, Brett. Brett,
what Brittany said? What Brittany said? I don't see a comment.
Brett, don't get pulled in that foolishness.
Oh, I see Brett.
Brett said 2 years old. Brett, do not get caught up in that. I was going to start picking on Alka-Seltzer. But let me tell you something. I was trained. You didn't talk to strangers. You don't talk to them. You don't interact. You just keep going. You let them admire you. So some people finish shoot you at home in front of your mailbox. Now we got to ask you what's going on. Whoever typed out will need to be slapped. So also don't forget, hit the like button, hit that hit that subscribe.
That's right. Tell them hit that like button, hit that cash out.
I thought I sent a story over to y'all. I sent over. Then I sent a story to. Yeah, y'all gonna talk about that story. That affects the local county near us. Some people ought to know. We had someone on the show last week from that county, as a matter of fact. He did get back home to cook dinner before his parents got home from school. It's not impossible now. While people talking, that's what we do. So are you gonna look at that story? What else you got in the story box today? I have nothing about. Somebody say ran away 3 times. I ran away 3 times. Is that ran away from the person trying to kidnap you, or just ran away from home 3 times? Brandon was telling us about his situation. So, Kevin, what's that? Kevin, get your behind out of this chat. Who is Kevin? What is he doing?
I don't know. I'm trying to see.
She said, get your behind out of this chat. What is Kevin? Is that the Kevin who used to be my friend Kevin? I'm really shocked at Boogie. Me and Boogie was pretty close. We were about like that right there. Now we kind of like the peace sign. We done separated. He let me down. I had some video ideas I gave him, and for some reason he kicked up and he followed. So what do y'all think? So what do y'all think about the debate tonight? Who's gonna win it? Trump or Donald? Who's gonna win the debate tonight? Do y'all feel like Robert F. Kennedy should have been in the debate? I feel like he should have.
Oh, I got a school thought on that. I just found that article too. Did you want me to post that? I got it logged up ready.
Hold on. Let's get that Brandon right here. Brandon said Home had a different type of stepdaddy, came to understand him later in life. Okay. I ran away from home. Any of y'all ever ran away from home before?
I had.
Oh yeah. I ran away for a few hours.
Yeah, I ran away for that.
I did.
Yeah, I ran away for a few hours. I ain't long.
Oh, Kevin Jr. on here. Oh, little Boogie on him. Okay, so yeah, I ran with Two. You ever ran away from home?
No.
You should have.
I know. That's why I didn't run away from home.
Did you walk away?
Yeah, I walked to school.
I ran away for a day. You should have. Once I found out your name is Loch Ness and you black, and I thought you Hispanic, you should have ran away. Somebody said I have. Fairly. Yeah, I ran away from home before.
Me too.
I think it's part of being a kid, you know. He was like Henry Gray. Oh yeah, yeah. You learn to appreciate him Henry Gray later. So I understand that, Brandon. That's true. You know, people realize, you know, later you really need a strong father figure in the home. But understanding at the same time in a way to where you're effective, but you know, you get the message across. And that's unfortunate, like with me, with you and others, we tend to run away from strong parenting that has the experience and that realizes how dangerous it is out there. A lot of time with women, not all, they'll be softer, kind of, you know, more lenient to some things. A man will look through sometimes and see that boy and realize the answer is no. No, because you're looking at, I'm not trying to have my son dead in a casket. Y'all remember my Boys in the Hood when Trey Daddy got him and, you know, and he had him, he was going to walk out of his daddy gun. He was letting him know he wasn't going to let him leave. He like, so you're a man now because you got the gun? Y'all remember that?
No, I'm a young spring chicken. I don't remember all the details. Like when I was coming up, they had movies like Home Alone was just coming out, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What you think? Ninja
Turtles. You know, stuff like that.
Now, what you think the purpose to teach you Home Alone? Try to teach a kid they can manage and survive on their own.
That's why I ran away.
Yeah. He said,
He didn't run away. He got lost. He got mixed up at the airport.
Yeah, but he survived.
They left home. They left him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
left him at home by mistake.
Right.
They left him. They forgot him.
Did he get lost at the airport and got on the wrong airplane?
No.
It was like 2 or 3
Alone on a plane. The name of the movie is Home Alone. How can you be home alone on a plane?
He got on the wrong airplane and got lost and ended up home alone.
They forgot him at home. They left on that trip and left him in the house.
We could all be right. It was 3 movies. It was 3 parts. Each time something happened, he got lost.
Probably. But we're talking about the first
I
one.
don't know. I watched the
There it
first
is. See, there it is. Look at that. Look at that. Home Alone 2. See, there it is. See, we saying the same thing. There you go.
You said 3.
But the first one was
That
the
just
best.
prove I'm even more of a younger spring chicken.
Man, please.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness, that man don't know what he's talking about. Woo, my ear itching.
Yeah. Home Alone. I remember that movie.
But I mean, let's see, man. The man. So tell us. So all right. So where we at?
I got the article. Did you want me to do the article first?
Yes, you can go ahead and read it.
All righty. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Newton County Board of Commissioner Chairman and real estate broker charged with money laundering. Ooh,
That's our neighboring county. What? So read the story. What does it tell us? Do something with your life.
Hey, now this feel like a homework assignment. Now I don't do all this reading.
Whatever.
Small too. That's a whole lot of reading.
Man, use your little college, man. Get a little stuff. What the
Look, he can't read it. He can't read and want to try to push it off on me. Y'all ever had that kid in class? The teacher call on them to read, and they'll try to push it off on you.
Talking about the one like I told you to read, and you ain't read it. So you talking
Let's
about
see.
yourself.
It says Atlanta Marcelo Baines, chairman of Newton County Board of Commissioners, and Stephanie Lindsay, a real estate broker and attorney, have been indicted by a federal grand jury for conspiring to launder money obtained from wire fraud and honest services wire fraud. By allegedly laundering proceeds obtained from a fraud conspiracy, these defendants violated the trust placed in them by their client, their constituents, and their fellow commissioners, said the U.S. Attorney Ryan Buchanan. Public officials who undermine the public's faith in our institution by abusing their power for personal gain must be held accountable. Let's scroll up. Baines and Lindsay undermined the public's confidence in government and business in Georgia, said FBI Atlanta Special Agent in charge, Kerry Farley. This indictment is a stern warning that anyone who violates our laws will be brought to the face of justice. You still want me to keep reading?
No, that's fine. But I guess, does it tell us what they did exactly? I know it said wire fraud.
I haven't read the article. I thought. Let me see. Let me scroll down. Let's see.
I want to show off your college because people don't know you went. Now they need to know if you completed. Somebody said, then she just win the seat. Yes. Stephanie Lindsay did. She just won post. That's just last week. So she was just chair elect for post 1 in Newton County. So this had to no doubt be an ongoing investigation. You're exactly right.
Help me understand it. So I'm reading something I don't understand it. So I'm gonna read to y'all and y'all help me get a better understanding of what they really saying. All right, it's saying at a JDA board meeting in 2019, Baines voted along with other JDA members to pass a resolution authorizing the transfer of the parcel, which allowed the purchase of the land by Company A. Baines allegedly never disclosed to the JDA that upon Company A acquisition of the land, Company A would pay $150,000 to Lindsay, who would funnel most of the payment to Baines. So what is that really saying?
It sounds like it was a company deal that they agreed on selling something to them and giving them a contract, and that the company paid $150,000 and they gave the money to Lindsay, who was his attorney, instead of giving it to him. And by that, she took the money and she took her portion, and then she gave the money over to him, which means they did this by a phone conversation. So that came up, that's FCC. When you start using the telephone and you're doing some stuff like that, because they put wire fraud in there too. Even them wiring the money. So they got a couple of issues they could pull on them to make it federal.
Mm.
We're when you start using words like, you start putting in conversation wire fraud, it makes sense. Because otherwise it could have been here, it could have been dealt with in the local government. The local county could have dealt with that situation. But when you start using the fact that they saying stuff like wire fraud, it makes it where the feds can get involved. They want to pull it out of the county's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Quick question.
Is
wire fraud a form of embezzlement, or are those two totally different things?
Well, you start dealing with the FCC, when you start dealing with these phones and doing communication on these phones, that puts you now, you can get in their jurisdiction. That's just like murder. People don't realize murder is not a federal charge. Murder is a state charge. But depending on what you do and how you do it, the feds can get involved. So you got jurisdiction when you start dealing with different things. Like you'll have people that'll come in, they'll start like when people used to use like the that A for V stuff, or use that sovereign citizen. They will start telling these people they didn't have jurisdiction over them. You remember that certain courts, you don't have jurisdiction. And that's how a lot of times these people get these things tied up. And why the feds have to look at a situation where they can pull this out of their hands. But when they start and they put wire fraud in them, they put it where the feds can get it now. Because this could have been pulled down to the local courts. This could have been a situation handled right in Newton County. But they made sure that Newton County wasn't going to get this case. If Newton County get it out of the feds, make sure they were going to get it. Just with the fact they put terminology like wire fraud, that means the feds got it at this point. So you got to be careful how you charge a person, because if you don't, you can come back down, you can be charged for, now you can get them on double jeopardy. So state courts come down, they decide the county want to prosecute or do something, they won't be able to prosecute them for that same exact charge. They'll have to get them on different charges. Otherwise, it's called double jeopardy. So the feds getting them, and they got the case pulled in them for the fact that they said, once they say certain terminology, wire fraud, yeah, that's not state at that point. You're dealing with the feds. The feds involved, they took your charge. This is pretty serious. I know Stephanie, she's represented me before in the past. I had her she also messed me up on a case in the past. Cost me some money, but I had to finally fix it myself and get it done. She refused to do it. Woo, boy, I lost some money with that woman. But till I start come back around, just time of doing things and people. It's unfortunate, that people do business correctly. It's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate that people are the victims. The taxpayers. What's bad for us, and I say this, and I know people, white people are always doing something, white people, yeah. But at that point, we should look at why we should be above board. Not because it's about competing with whites, but it's because, for people of color, we're just really getting over the few years where we're getting positions where now we're not just, the token. We're getting, prime seats, prime seating. We're getting more than one on a board or in an office. A lot more of us are in courtrooms now, as far as judges and prosecutors now. So when we get these positions, it's to our benefit to show why we're qualified, why we should be above board when we're doing things, why we should just do the job. It ain't about being above board. It's just do the job. If you don't want to do the job, do something else. It's easy. The thing with government, with a lot of these people, and when they get on the higher end, you'll get people that become longtime senators, or they'll do it a few years of congressmen, or get other positions, mayors, whatever, governors. They'll come out there, open consulting firms where they'll make money doing that, because they can show where they have experience from operating, from governing a major city, governing, a state. You'll look at a lot of presidents were governors. Jimmy Carter was a governor. Both the Bushes were former governors. So you'll find, because a state is typically like a country. If you look, the governor stays at the White House like the president. The president has Secret Service. The governor has the State Patrol. And they have their own GBI, just like they had a federal FBI for the federal. They have the GBI. So a lot of the same similarities are there. So that's why a lot of times governors will run for president, because they'll look at, I already operate on a major scale. They also have a National Guard, so they can show where I've operated a military. That's why they'll dispatch them in crisis. The National Guards actually are up under direction of the governor. So, but these guys won't wait their turn, mature, do the job, then come out, you open consultant, like former police chiefs, former, fire chief, a lot of these people open consulting firms, especially when you come out like City of Atlanta, like New York, California. When you've been, Los Angeles, these are major cities, New Jersey, and you've been a fire chief there, you can go to smaller cities like Atlanta, other cities, and say, listen, I can come in and show you how the fire system needs to be set up because I've done it. I can show you preparedness and readiness, like the person who's the fire chief back when 9/11 happened. This man now, he's a lot older than that if he's not even dead. This is a person that can come in and say, I could teach your city, how accounting, how to be prepared readiness in an emergency. I've had to work 911. That's those credentials are high. Just like former military people, they'll come out Navy. People don't realize why a lot of times people take special forces, Navy SEAL, Green Beret. The money is not there when you're doing the job. The money is when they come out. Do y'all know how much the Saudis pay these people a year to come in and train their private security? Because these guys can show where I have kills. I've been in Desert Storm. I did 2 tours, Desert Storm. I did 1 tour or 2 or 3 tours in Afghanistan. I did Bosnia. You know what I'm saying? So you look at these people have worked in high concentrated areas. They dealt with violence. They dealt with operations. So people pay money for that. So they realize when they get out is when they make their money. Then you got, people like these and others that just greedy. And this is what happened, unfortunately. So I encourage, and I'll say this to people that's looking at politics or that's something they desire to do. Here on this show, we talked about and we, demonstrated. Talking about problems, then let's talk about problem solving. That's something that people don't do. There are a lot of shows that are critics of other people, other government officials, systems, but then how involved do you get? Do you become a proponent for change to where you look at yourself becoming electable, or do you find a person that's electable and get behind them and say, let's push for change? A lot of time for people of color, we spent more years complaining. We spent more years criticizing. We spent more time saying how I don't give a flying flip about voting. I don't feel like it's important. And I was a person like that years back. Even though I voted, I think at 18. I think the first time I voted, I think it was, I did vote. Ross Perot. But I think the second time I voted was Ross Perot. But anyway, because you buy into the hype of it doesn't affect you. People don't realize on a lower level, government is more important. Of course, on the bigger scale, you need, it's important who you have at the top, but you definitely need to get involved when it's local government. And I encourage people to, especially our young people, to learn about the government, how your government works, learn who represents you, make sure you're being represented. Just to criticize and not get representation is not to get change. That goes along with your taxes. You are a taxpayer when you go buy goods, when you own a home, when you do other things. And how this was set up, you can't have taxation without representation. And people of color have been unrepresented for too long. And you're being taxed. And it's not because we can't get representation, it's because we don't know how to go about it. No one's ever really sat down and informed us and taught us how to strategize, how to look at what are real needs for our people. It's just like every race. I think every race should be represented. It's impossible for me to know more of what another race would need or what are the social ills or justice of another race than that race. It would look stupid for me to tell another race that I know exactly what you need when that's not my culture. So every race needs to be represented. That's not racism. That's just true. Someone needs to be at the table that represents you, that looks like you, that understands your need. When they say, well, to me, I think Indian people are fine living in tents. Stop. I don't want to live in the tent. I don't know who told you that. Well, I assume, and this becomes the problem. You have people assuming something that does not know about the culture. So you need people who understand the culture. At some point, people need to be represented rather than just water cooler talking. Yes, sir.
Something you just said that I think is very important. You were talking about learning the local government. Something that I just learned myself and didn't know. I wanted to share that with y'all if it's okay. I would like to put up the actual organizational chart of a city so that people can actually understand how a city is ran and the different organizational charts and positions that coincide with that. So I want to know if that's okay if I put that up real quick.
Yeah. This is what we do.
All right. So what I have right here is going to take a moment to load. This right here is the city of Conyers. If you look at this organizational chart, at the top of the chart is the citizens of Conyers. Mm-hmm. Right below that, we have the mayor and the city council. These are some of your elected officials right here. Then we have the city manager. The city manager is very important because the city manager is in control of the chief financial officer. The city manager is also in charge of the chief of police and the chief operating officer. Under these particular departments lie all the other different types of things in the city, which is your crime prevention, investigation, your technology, the financial and resource, employee benefits, accounts payable, so forth and so on. So I just wanted to briefly go over this because I never really understood the different roles and the different factors of how a city is formed and how it's actually ran, and who are those people set aside to help assist us as we, have the week during the city.
You need to flip it over. That the first part they put at the top was a joke, but from that other than the one at the top, the rest of it is accurate. The part at the top was a joke when it said that the citizens were first and they were over. It should be, but unfortunately, a lot of times in cities, and it's not just Conyers. A lot of times in cities, the citizens are last. The citizens are subservient. And that is because, a lot of times, I think sometimes you get some citizens, they can kind of get overzealous and take, things out of control, realize you put people in position whom you entrust to be able to take care of the business of the people. Then I think sometimes you put people in place, people forget why they're put in position to make sure that the people's business is being dealt with, from the president, from governors, to senators, to congressmen, because sometimes there are laws and there are things that are implemented that's not always to the best care of the citizens. A lot of times they will implement and put laws into place and rules that will more or less hand-tie the citizens. There are a lot of rights just in, that your Constitution allows you that because of other laws that they implemented, it actually goes against the Constitution. And just like with the no-knock search ones, just for instance, and they only, use those in certain neighborhoods, typically like Black, poor demographic. Those you won't find a no-knock search warrants are used in Buckhead, Beverly Hills. A lot of times in a lot of these places, they're not used with other ethnic groups, but they're used in groups that you can't. A person, the Constitution was strongly put in place about the fact of a person's property, the rights of a person being secure in their homes. They were big on it. You remember how many of y'all watched old cowboy movies? I know your dad's one. He was old. He like a cowboy. He watched shoot 'em ups. My dad used to call them shoot 'em ups. Your dad watched shoot 'em ups?
Yeah, I watched them.
Do you not remember you had an old white guy, somebody he come out there with his gun, tell you, you get off my property. He'll tell the sheriff, sometime the marshal, or they'll tell me how to go get the marshal. It'll be the sheriff. They let them know, now you get off my property. And they'll let them know sometimes they might shoot at the ground at their feet, and they'll go ahead and they'll leave. Because but although it was a cowboy movie, notice their defense was about their property. When they didn't like something they talking, they tell them, you best be getting on off my property. because the Constitution afforded a person you had the right to be secure in your home. Do y'all know how much it takes for a person to actually be taken out of your home? It's like a police, I mean, they actually don't have that power. You have the right to be secure in your home. But people don't know that. So a lot of times people lose their defense. Like boom, 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 boom. I'm knocking at your door. Wayno, I'm knocking at your door. Answer. Okay, he on mute. So I'm gonna shoot. No, I'm gonna shoot because I don't have time to play. I told the owner, you start mumbling something. Okay, I'm wrong, police. Okay, now I it's police.
Yes, sir.
Could you step outside for me?
No, sir.
Typically, what do we do?
Go outside.
Yeah. And you know why? A lot of times that's asked because you just lost your defense.
But preacher, what are like in that case where Bueno said no, sir, and then the cop is like, I said step outside.
You can ask them. I mean, depend. Let me say this, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying this for people to be difficult. It's just sometimes you can put yourself in a situation where you lose your defense. There's a reason why I asked you to step outside.
But at what point? At what point can we? What? No, that's a lot of the things that a lot of young men don't know what to say in those cases. On even when they are stopped and when they're driving or in their house, they don't know what to say. They feel like they need to follow instructions, and that's it. Period.
Well, no search warrant can't come in. And let me say that again.
So
I'm not saying no. I want to engage this. Let me say that I'm not saying that for people to. Sometimes people find reason to be difficult. Don't look for reason to be difficult. At the same time, don't give up your stance or your rights for things at the same time. Because you got to remember, there are rules in play for a purpose. I mean, I can come to your house. I could just say, wait, I like your girlfriend. And then if I get you outside this door, you surrendered up some of your rights or your protection. Hey, man, you're not in your home. We're here, and I can tell you what to do at that point.
Once you're outside,
yeah. Sometimes you lose position on what are your rights, and I'm trying. It's not being difficult. And people say you trying to be difficult. You trying to no. I support good policing. I support it. I support it all day. I just want people to know when something is your right and you have a right to do, you just don't want to lose that and just sit and just give it up. Like when 9/11 happened, a lot of people didn't realize 9/11 came. We gave up a lot of rights. Like to listen to your phone calls, you got to go and see a judge. Just like, okay, if I want to come to your house, do you know how much evidence I really have to give a judge? Now, a clerk signs this. Do you know a judge doesn't even sign a lot of these warrants? The clerk signs them. That warrant is no good. Not for to come to your home. A search warrant that has to be signed by a judge. And it's limited to. I can't come to your house, man. I'm looking for explosives. I'm looking for drugs. I'm looking for child pornography. I'm just looking for whatever I can find. I can't. The search warrant has to entail what I'm looking for. Now, no. To me, now let me say this, be honest. If I'm searching your house for drugs, I find child pornography, you need to go to jail for child pornography too. That's me now. I'm just gonna be flat. But it stipulates that for a reason. When people say, well, bad people get away, yeah, sometimes they do, but at the same time, you don't want good people to lose their rights. Because I could send somebody on an expedition. Oh, let me think. What else I want to do? No, your search warrant goes to this. To search these areas. If it's the whole home in garage, it don't go in my drawers and do a cavity search in my rear end. And a lot of times we get things done to us. Yeah, somebody saying that. He's saying to see that details. He's right. It's got to be actually looking for. But a lot of times when we get them, hey, he goes search warrant, and you just let me in your house. You have to look at this search warrant. Is it been signed by a judge or did the clerk sign? Because at that point, this warrant needs to go back.
This is good information for people to know. Definitely.
just making sure when people they say being reasonable. All this is true. Being reasonable, because if you don't have lines drawn and you don't have, it's so many things just open up to become more problematic. And a lot of people that are sitting in jail and going to court for things, if they knew their rights, it wouldn't have been a problem.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, you get put in. Not asking. If you don't mind, I'm asking why I put it. Don't ask me no questions. I have a right to know why I was pulled over, so I know what's my position. Am I being pulled over for suspicion of picking up prostitutes? This is crazy. I hadn't seen no prostitute. I hadn't stopped anywhere. I just need to know why I'm being put on. Am I being charged? I was speeding. I ran a red light. At least let me know so I know to prepare a defense. Whether, okay, you know what? I did know that was a stop sign back there, officer. That don't mean the officer gonna let me go, but I want to prepare. I need to prepare a defense. Was I speeding? Because I had my cruise control on, officer, and the sign back there said well, it was construction. I just need to know why. Well, right now, don't ask me no questions. I'll come back and I'll tell you. I don't know what your end becomes at this point, but everybody needs to be respected regardless of the color. And I think a lot of times people of color, we're put in a lot of bad situations. And when you don't know, it does hurt, because that makes a difference on how you get handled, having your position. It's just like when you play basketball. When you get down there and you when the person that's standing still first while the other person moving, the person moving hit me, that's a charge. If I'm still moving, you coming, it's on me. It's a foul. But if I'm holding my position, you coming, then the charge is on you. At basketball. Now I can pivot. I can move, I can do this as long as I pivot, as long as I don't move the other foot. When both feet moving, now that's a charge. That's a problem. So it's just like with basketball and other things, there are rules to the games. People might not like them, but these are the rules. I don't think it, but these are the rules. It don't matter about how you feel about it. So we need to know the rules when we playing the game. We don't want to. People say, well, when you do that, you educate criminals. Well, at the same time, it's unfortunate. You always got people that's gonna use something for a bad reason. You got what I'm saying? Just like pain meds or something. That's just unfortunate. It's people gonna use things, but it doesn't make sense to keep losing good people because you keep saying we don't want to create bad people, but you're creating bad people when good people don't know their rights.
That's right.
So I think it's important for people to know what's afforded them. Yes, sir.
On this particular topic, I got a video I like to share. It's probably about a 1-minute video. I don't know if it's okay if I can play it once y'all take a look at it. This is an incident where we had police run in the situation in regards to, approaching someone in their house and things like that. Just want to know if I can play it real quick. It's about a 1 minute long. Is that all right?
Also, play the one when you ran away from that cannon, because I ain't gonna believe it till I see it.
Wow.
I need your ID.
So when y'all go over there and talk to him about his music, do y'all ask him for his ID?
Yeah, when you provide.
No, y'all do not. I'll be sitting right here watching. Nobody asking for his ID.
I'm not arguing with you.
I'm not arguing with you either. I'm not giving you no. I'm going to jail.
Yes.
If I provide my ID,
yes, ma'am.
Let's do it. I'm not giving you my ID.
Right, turn off the chains behind your back.
This is ridiculous.
Hey, turn off the chains behind your back. You're under arrest.
I need to put my shoes on.
I didn't ask.
Wait a minute, don't you put your hands on me like that, dude.
Hold on. Whoa, hold on, wait.
Hold on.
Ma, calm down, please. Everybody, please calm down, please. Ma, everybody, calm down.
I'm gonna give you one more chance.
Somebody just call the phone and call your daddy.
Ma, please.
Why do you need my ID?
I've already explained to you.
Ma, just
Why do you need my ID?
Ma, just give him your ID, Ma, please.
Why do you need my ID?
Ma, please call. Ma,
Put your hands off of me.
No, it's okay. Ma, it's okay.
Get
It's
your
okay.
hands
Ma,
off
it's
of
okay.
me.
Ma, it's okay. It's okay, Ma.
Why you want to rough up a female, dude?
Because you're not complying.
You need Jesus.
Wait, why are we taking her away?
She's right now. She's under arrest for failure to identify.
I want to actually see this law in play in action.
Statute.
Yeah, I don't see where it says anything about an ID. It says your name, address, and explanation of address.
She repelled to identify by ID.
I mean, it doesn't specifically, say an ID.
I know, but I'm not going to argue with you either. All right.
That makes zero sense, dude.
So what happened?
So what was he there?
I think what she's saying is she saw him harassing somebody else or talking to somebody else, and he didn't ask for ID, and he came to ask her for ID, I guess. And I'm assuming because we didn't see what happened before that led into asking her because she was on her porch at her house. So the only thing I could see logical to that was if there was an altercation or a situation that she was involved with outside, the person called the police on her. So if that's the case, I do need to identify the person that called. I need to identify the other person who's supposed to be the accused or the assailant. So I can see scent. But if you came to her home on her porch and she was standing at her door and she was having conversation with you and you felt like, well, let me get your ID.
Yeah.
I think you might have overreached on that. And that could have turned, I'll say this to anybody watching. I would have not done what she did and went to going to touch the hand because at that point you move into assault on a police officer.
What she was oh, you mean after he pushed her down?
Well, no, you know, today because I think when she said I didn't show it, but you had to see his body cam. It seemed as though she might have maybe pushed because he was like, everybody calm down. She don't put your hand on my son. So when you get in that, you move. Now you see what happened. You can push. You listen. Everything shifts quick on position. You at your home. You in your home in your doorway. There are certain things you're allowed to do. You're not being belligerent with the officer. You don't have a weapon pointed at the officer. The officer came to your home. If he was not called to your home, I'm just saying based on what I'm thinking. This is a case to me. Somebody can correct me. Christian, he can correct me. If I'm at my porch, I'm up here talking at my house in my doorway, and me and you conversate back and forth, and you coming up here on my porch, and nobody called the police on me. I have not threatened, nor have been belligerent with you, nor have I put hands on you, and you ask me for my ID. I don't have to give you my ID. I'm at home. That makes no sense. I'm at home in my house. I know who I am.
But I
arrest me for that. I'll let you go ahead and arrest me, and then we'll move from there. And we'll move from there with legal action. I will say this to anybody watching: don't be stupid, because you could have got shot. Yeah, because at this point, let me say this: I'm tussling with you. If the son touches me, at that point, it moved to y'all jumping me.
I was surprised that he didn't do anything to the son.
Yeah,
especially. Wait, no. Huh?
The son, I think too. Go ahead. I'm just saying. I'll tell what I think.
Nah, I mean, my point is made.
Let me
unless this act correct, a crime hasn't been committed or believed to be committed, so you can't ask for me for ID. Now, if you can't come to my house unless
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
My whole thing is you can be right, but you can be dead right. So oftentimes,
exactly. That's what I was going to say.
What's that?
That you could be dead right. It's like I feel like there are good cops, but there are other cops that they abuse their power, and it's scary because they have a gun that they can use that they're defended by the law. It's just there are good cops, and like you said, preacher, I support good cops, but there are also those bad cops. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie Crash.
Yeah.
And then there's that scene where the girl gets violated and the man can't do anything because he's so afraid of this cop. And it's just like, it's frustrating. In real life, I believe it happens. I've seen it happen in front of my eyes. It's scary.
So what you were gonna say?
Nothing.
Seriously? You were saying something? I remember your younger days.
Tony, please.
Well, I do. 35 years ago.
Please.
Before you were 75. What did Sherman say when he said you? He said you didn't look bad for 79. Remember that? He said you really shot her for 79.
Richard, she is not nowhere near.
I told him, man. I said my grandma. He said. They said that was your grandma. I said, yeah. I said that's a grandma. They said, I said, grandma, come here again. They said, I I mean, I seen, people look good for their age. They're like, she don't look a day over 78 and a half. I said, I know, I take care of her.
Come on, preacher.
I do. I take care of her. But no, but he said, Andrew said, that's a good movie, Crash. What happens, believe it or not, a lot of police don't really know the law. You'd be surprised how many of them don't. Remember this too. It's so many different things they're being taught. You're dealing with so many scenarios, and a lot of times scenarios are not that you're dealing with. Okay, somebody probably let's do a robbery scene. Let's do a ticket. Let's do a high speed chase. Let's do all these different things. A rape. So, but then certain things on somebody just having a conversation with you. You thinking, well, I'm the police, and I'm kind of irritated with you. So let me get your ID, and you don't realize this is outside of what you can do. And a lot of times, a lot of police not knowing get cities and counties sued.
Right.
Because a supervisor is going to look at that. That's going to a supervisor. The supervisor is going to look at that tape. And they're going to pull them. And they're going to let them know. And they're going to let them know that thing going to get some hits. And when the right citizen sees it and somebody get contacted by an attorney, that citizen get contacted by an attorney. And they're like, I'd like to help you out. I seen that video. Yeah, because there's some things they don't show you. They're going to know. Were the police called to your home? No. Were you involved in the altercation? No. What happened? I was just on my porch looking at what the officer was doing. On your porch? Did you say it? Did you point a weapon? No. Did you? And the officer had body cam.
Yeah.
So we saw the son recording. The body cam is going to be pulled. So that body cam is going to be requested. That's open records. So when they request that body cam, because this supervisor going to look at that body cam. When they look at that body cam, that's when they're going to realize this is a bad situation. And they'll look at, you're going to need to be trained. See, y'all got to remember too, and I don't want to look like I'm kissing up or putting up. A lot of times, they got so much going on. You still deal with a human being. Like people say, well, this is my mouth. I can say what I want. How much of my mouth you going to take if I'm back and forth with you?
That's right.
You're not a police. So you got to think of the pressures you're dealing with too. Respect starts on both ends. A lot of times, de-escalation where everybody got to learn. That situation, the right police officer, when she fought back at that point, once they say you under arrest, you lost your position. Your position has been lost. So when you say, dude, and your hand hit them, now you just moved to, you just assaulted me.
Yeah.
Now what they've been taught to do when they've been assaulted is fight back. So now the son says, touches you, hey man, that's my mama. I've been struck again. Now it's two of you against me. Now what I have? Pepper spray. I got taser. I also got a gun.
Yep, that situation could have gone bad.
Yeah, this could have went back because I'm dealing with you in front of me kicking. I got him. He just, hey man, that's my mom. He could just be trying to say, hey, but I could be taking it that he could grab me, he could get my gun. So I need to think, people. This a human being, and it's gonna go. Oh, he a white boy. Oh, he a cracker. He just want to kill. Everything ain't that way. It's just when people ain't thinking, and when things moving in real time, you gotta look. They get trained on, hey, don't let nobody take your gun. They had to go through the series. Or 3 people jump you, do not let them take your gun. And now I'm dealing with you, and somebody touched me from the back. I was thinking you could have choked me. You could have done anything. Go ahead.
I've been researching, trying to get more of a background to the story. And I found a quick news clip. It's about 5 minutes long, actually 10 minutes long. I'm gonna try to fast forward in the middle of it.
Well, we're gonna do what we need.
Please.
What you gonna do?
I said, don't let us miss the details, please.
Well, I'm watching this video for the first time.
Well, Chris said it's pretty interesting. You meet force with a higher level of force. That's true.
Yeah.
Now, civil rights attorney and a dear friend of mine, Harry Daniels. Daniels also represents Reverend Jennings. He's one of the best civil rights litigators in this country. According to the attorneys, the incident began February 23rd, 2024, when Stallworth called the police multiple times to do one thing, complain about the neighbor who was playing loud music in the neighborhood. Getting no response, Ms. Stallworth decided to set her car alarm in an effort to get the neighbors to convince them to turn down the music. Kind of nuisance on nuisance action happening. While the police failed to respond to Ms. Stallworth's complaint, they did respond to the neighbor who called to complain about her noise. Frustrated because Officer Burton threatened to cite and arrest her for the car alarm, but did not say anything to address her multiple complaints. Stallworth pointed out the disparity as Barton, the officer, was returning to her police cruiser, suggesting it was racially motivated. Stallworth is black, while the neighbor playing the loud music is white. At that point, Officer Barton returned to the front porch and began demanding that Ms. Stallworth present her identification, even though he had not made any such request prior. That's when Stallworth's 18-year-old son began recording the encounter with his phone. Smart man. The video shows Ms. Barton threatening, the video shows Officer Barton threatening to arrest Ms. Stallworth for failing to present identification, despite the fact that state law only requires a person to do so when they are in a public place. Your home does not qualify as the public. When Ms. Stallworth goes back into her house in order to put on some shoes, Officer Barton forcefully enters the home, shoving past Stallworth's son and grabbing her by the arm in order to handcuff her. Officer Barton continues to escalate the situation, despite the repeated pleas of the son for everyone to calm down, and even shoves Ms. Stallworth into the couch, despite the fact she was unarmed, had offered no aggression, and was not a threat to the officer or anyone. The officer eventually arrested Ms. Stallworth, charging her with obstruction, resisting arrest, and they also charged her with attempting to elude. Okay? Attorney Daniel said of the incident, quote, "Never mind that Officer Barton needlessly escalated the situation, forcefully entered Ms. Stallworth's home and physically assaulted her over a noise complaint. Never mind that he arrested her for exercising her constitutional rights. And never mind that he misquoted a law that doesn't require a woman in her own home to present an ID. He was leaving. He was walking back to his car, ready to drive away, right until she called out his racism. Calling out racism is not illegal. Using your badge to intimidate a 40-year-old mother is," end quote, Attorney Harry Daniels. Put up the police chief of this police department. His name is Paul Hudson on the left. Officer Barton, May 2021. That's his picture. Recent graduate at that time of the Alabama Advanced Criminal Justice Academy. It's a damn shame what you did, sir. And you have the weight of the justice system upon you now because Harry Daniels, well, his law firm and his team, they are heavy hitters. And to the family, we're going to continue to follow this story. We hate this happened to the mother. Sorry that the son had to witness it, but the son did one of the greatest things he could have done. He preserved the record. Yes. He preserved the record. All right. Okay.
I think someone kind of how they quoted it kind of. Well, you got to present in a certain light to get a jury to see it a certain type of way too. So many things happen. Well, things happen where it do to show where people at. He should have used a better judgment as a young officer coming in. He could have called a sergeant because I'm sure they have people you can call if you got questions like your sergeant. You know, hey, I'm dealing with this situation here. How would you recommend from this? I mean, because you just knew to graduate, you're on the street. So you want to, these are situations they don't know. And I'm telling you, a lot of time for a lot of officers, ain't all of them, they're not veterans. They don't understand sometimes what rights do they have or when are you over police or sometimes how far you want to go because with what he put on there, she could have very well not gotten a bond. obstruction is one thing, but then you got resisting and then attempting
Eluding.
to. So I got to look at it as a judge. This is what y'all remember.
House, but okay.
When a judge read it, a judge is reading codes. A judge is not looking at the video.
Right.
So all I'm
Right.
looking at, you somebody who was trying to stop an officer from doing their job.
Mhm.
Then you tried to resist, which means you could have been fighting. Then attempt to elude. You tried to drive away, or because it's a code, and the code just says eluding. It don't say you were in your house and you
Specific.
still in your house. So
Right.
that gets dangerous, and now the judge is making this decision based off these codes. And I'm looking as a judge, this person is just trying to do their job. You were obstructed. How many times officers have been stopped, prevented from doing their job? Then you started to resist arrest when you were being corrected or reprimanded about it. Then on top of that, you tried to get away. No bond. So the way he wrote that up is very, very concerning. Very, because all the judge got is what you got on paper. They're reading codes. Unless there's a court here and explain what's going on, a judge is reading codes. Everything is coded.
Mm-hmm.
That I have a problem with. I think he could have dealt with it, maybe got her in the car, told her to listen. In the future, I'm gonna let you go. But we shouldn't have got to this point if I asked you for your ID. He could explain why, ma'am, based on what you were saying about that person you called a plea. The reason I asked you for your ID, because now I'm going to write up a statement. I can't write up and say, dead lady, she said her name. I mean, if that were the case, a lot of times, if you just explain to people,
Mhm.
the reason I ask why, because I'm going to get his ID. I'm going to write this complaint up and write this so it'll be on record. If something happens again, you can get a copy of this.
Realistically speaking, you really think you're gonna take your time and explain that to that lady?
No, but I'm just saying he could.
There's very few. Some do.
Yeah,
To what you're trying to tell her to do.
Yeah.
Person. I really don't. I don't even think that. I don't know. I don't think you do that. Let me.
So let's take this and let's tie this in as a microcosm into our initial conversation, what we were talking about, which is the local politics. I want to pull back up that org chart. This right here is just a microcosm, so it isn't going to, address every particular situation. But I want you guys to see how, if you were a citizen, hypothetically, and you live in a city and you see something like this takes place, let's understand let's give you a better understanding of the local politics part of this. So if this was a city and not a county, hypothetically, what we would do is we would follow this org chart. We would notice that this right here falls under the category of the chief of police.
Yeah.
He's over all the officers, everything in regards to the court service, probation, court, community service, everything else. So you want to try to find out who is the boss of the chief of police, because oftentimes people will run to the chief of police. But what you want to do according to this org chart is you want to actually send all your complaints to the city manager and the mayor and city council. So your mayor and your city council, they're the ones who actually over everything that goes, every single officer in that city. That's the role that your mayor and that your city council, your city manager take. So pretty much, if you were wanting to say, hey, what can you do about these situations? It's really important to show up at your next city council meeting and share your frustrations to make certain that all this right here gets resolved. People get fired or dismissed or whatever the case may be. That's one of, in terms of the org chart, a way to take it in terms of local politics. And that's why it's important that you pay close attention to the officials and things of that nature who you elect.
Can I help out on that one? Tip, what you want to do as a police officer? If you're on the scene and that happened, she should have requested his sergeant. That's the first thing you do. You request. This is the problem. Like, I say my kid at school, my kid cuts up, right? And the teacher, I don't like something that happened with the teacher. I can't go to the superintendent of the school or the school board. The first thing they're going to ask me is, did I first speak with the teacher?
Mm-hmm.
From there, I have to be able to give an answer and what was my resolve. Then I have to go to the principal. Allow the principal to operate, because even though you shoot straight to the city manager, that's going to be a problem. Because the chain of command has been broken. And that chief is going to put and tell them, did they talk to the sergeant on duty. That's who you request, the sergeant on duty or that officer sergeant. Now, another thing you do when it's a police officer, so y'all need to know this, you want to get with internal affairs. You want to never talk. Don't ever have the conversation. You always put it in paper. The reason why you put it on paper, because that becomes federal paper at that point. If that paper get balled up, throw it away, listen, you have destroyed legal paperwork. You never have the conversation and leave that conversation. You always do paperwork. When you write it up, when internal affairs get this or they sergeant, it has to be addressed at this point. They cannot put, if I call, hey, yeah, this racist white boy poor member, this redneck, okay, well, okay, yeah, okay. And when this here go, because we'll have no paperwork. Now, if somebody look at if there's something serious, I was fondled, touched, a gun was put in my head, even though it's not, I'm gonna need you to come down and fill out a statement. That's where you're going. So always know how to do protocol. If it's an officer and y'all engage on the streets of problem, you can request that officer sergeant. That's the first level. Next level we do with this, you don't feel like you get it, you fill out with internal affairs. It is internal affairs. That's their division to investigate the police officer. This is your buffer between them, somebody that has the authority. He can't tell internal affairs to F themselves or whatever. This ain't your buddy. Internal affairs deal with them. So if you go straight to city manager, mayor, you could do that if you know somebody and they just going to pull people, but it can be a problem and all of them can get pulled because you didn't go through the proper channels. So you ain't my friend now? Love doctor.
Oh, what's up? I didn't know you were asking me a question.
Yes, because you told me to go straight
so,
to the
So the purpose I was doing is I'm trying to early in the conversation, we were talking about local politics, why should you vote? Things of that nature. Everything you're saying is spot on, but I was just using that org chart to show people in terms of their elected officials, how your elected officials actually play a role of your chief of police, your police officer, and stuff like that. So just trying to see people in terms of, oftentimes you feel like, hey, my vote don't matter, nothing's gonna change, whatever the case may be. Just getting people more familiar with the org chart of your elected officials and the role that your elected officials actually play in your day-to-day routine life. But everything you said is spot on, absolutely.
Now, what you did say, what you can do, just say like me as a citizen, and I'm watching that. Now, me as a citizen wouldn't go to his sergeant. I wouldn't go to internal affairs. I would go to the city council meetings.
Correct. That's right.
Them,
that next city council meeting ought to be loaded with everybody in the community.
But let me make sure this. I want to make sure I have all my facts of what happened, because city council gonna look at this. They'll jump out your mouth and say something there at that council meeting and not have all the facts. They should be able to say, if we're not aware of it, we'll look into it. And hopefully by the next meeting, we'll be able to come back and say something. Because if I say, oh, he gone, that white boy out of him, just using that scenario, then that's not going to be fair without having seen, heard everything versus just, I got it right here on my phone. We still need to investigate it. What hurt a lot of cases is prior to and what happened after. Sometimes you just watch in the middle. That's why you need to see what happened leading to that. I need to see what happened. Like he'll put her in the car, watch him find. He could have let out the car after that. There was never an arrest. It was still, hey, bad, but he could have considered and said, hey, I'm not going to take you to jail. But in the future, when an officer asks you for your ID, and I was asking you if he could explain that because I was going to write up a report. But he could say, that was my apology. I didn't explain that. I wanted your ID. I was also going to get his ID. I was going to write up a report. That way, if it get called back in, they'll know exactly versus nobody's name. Somebody just gave me their name. He said it wasn't him. It was him. I got the ID. I wrote down your date of birth, your address. I wrote down information. So between you two, if there's ever a confrontation, this can serve as, a witness to it. You got it? So him not explaining, and no doubt that wasn't what he was going to do. But if that was the situation, Then hopefully she would have said, okay, that was on me because you didn't say it. He said, yeah, you didn't give me, he could say, you didn't give me a chance. We escalated and we moved right into, at that point, I'm giving you an order and I got to take you to jail because you're not complying with the order. You've obstructed me from doing my job. But now we know that didn't happen. That's why I say when you make these complaints, it's good to know what led up to it, what happened after. So people who live in that city can say, if you have agreements with it, you don't like how it was happening, and you're looking at this guy polices in the neighborhood where I live. I want to go to that. I'm going to the council meeting. I want to say, are you guys aware of this video? This officer polices this area, newly out. I just want to make sure, and I want to know if they said we're aware of it. Is the city council looking into this? They can say, well, right, this time we can't say what we're doing, but make no mistakes, or we are on top of this, and we will get back with the citizens. The chief, so at least the citizens can feel good to know it's been investigated. It ain't just a YouTube phenomenon. But what you're saying is right. You need to know how to get involved, who handles what. Get that little bar chain of command so you know who you need to talk to. And like what we're saying is good because it gives people it gives you armory when you're dealing with something. You know who to talk to. Yeah. When all of a sudden, if you would, can I get now? I'm telling you, you requested a sergeant. That's a man. Can you have your sergeant? You get the chief of police. The chief of police is not going to come out in the office to come out there. They have sergeant, and that's their job. Their sergeant's job is to come out there when one of the people under his command, if there's an issue. You request their sergeant. So now when it gets to the chief is looking at this. Who's the sergeant? What happened when they went? Well, then if they start looking at chain of command, now I know how I'm finna move. Because everything been met. When none of these things been met, you came straight to me. Although I'm the chief, there's a proper protocol. I had a problem one time. It was here in Conyers years ago. And I stopped the major. I met the major, talked with him. He told me, he said, hey, he was a major at that time. I told him what happened. I said, hey, the body had this issue happen. 2 hours they popped the strap on their gun. We were standing in front of the door. I was like, what in the world just happened? And he was like, no, he said, I'll look into it. So he looked into it. He hit me back. He said, I got the 911 call, which is your right to it, to find out what happened. He sent me the sergeant's number. He said, this is the sergeant of those officers. This is internal affairs. And you have a right to call to make a complaint against them with internal affairs. But when I saw the call, it was the call that was the problem. It was a young lady. She had a problem, and it was at the gym. She wanted to sign up somebody I brought in to join, and she wanted to get that bonus. But I was like, no, I told them I wanted to sign up with somebody else. So they were getting the bonus for that sign up. So she was so mad that when the gym closed, we were standing in front of the door. She sat in her car and called the police and said, hey, there's some strange guys in front of the door. I think she said, yeah. So when the police came, they came with the notion of we might have been trying to break into the gym. So when they got the car, they was like, step away from the door. It was like, well, I was trying to find, excuse me. They was like, step back from the door, and they put their hands on it. I was like,
there's some petty people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let me tell you something. When I got that bag, he told me, I said, no, I'm not going to. He said, it's your right. I said, no, I have no problem with the officers because they got a call. They answered the call. It was some strange guys in front of the door. She didn't know we were trying to break in, which was her lie. So all they were doing their job. So to get them fired didn't make sense.
Right.
I guarantee you that though. I guarantee I got her fired. I got home. Right. Listen, I got home. I emailed. Listen, I called her supervisor, the supervisor over her. So none of these people reacted. I called human resources. They didn't react, right? So I had somebody I sat down. I emailed the owner. I had to email the owner of LA Fitness. I came down with everybody email. Let him know I had contacted human resources. I had contacted their person. I contacted their person all the way down to regional manager. So that was that night at like 12 o'clock, 12:30. I tell you what, by 8 o'clock that morning, my phone was ringing. And I was asked to come out to Chick-fil-A and they want to have lunch with me. So when I came out of Chick-fil-A to have lunch, I said, well, I already know how this is going to roll right here. Y'all going to pretty much going to stand with your people in what they say. I said, because I don't have no witnesses. And when I was talking with them, I was on a cell phone. They said, well, we have that call. I said, no, you wouldn't have the call because I was talking with them on the cell phone. They said, we had a call. I said, no, you don't understand. It wasn't on a landline. It was on a cell phone. I said, let me explain to you. Those cell phones they belong to LA Fitness. We have those recordings. Mm. That man told everybody who were under him that if I dropped my membership, everybody was fired. Everyone that was going to so listen, everybody down under him down there was going to be fired if I dropped my membership. I had dropped it. Do you know them folks called me, gave it back? I have a very good membership. I had my membership for years. So just telling people how to go through with chain of command. Mm-hmm. Why hasn't the way of y'all been going live anymore? Goodness. Is that a fight? I don't know. Nor Neil. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. How you know about that? He said, why haven't we going wild? Oh, live? Mm.
How do they know it's been a while?
Yeah, you know it's been a while. Interesting question. Explain. Bill said, why? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Bill said, old bad on that paper. Oh, you good, Bill. Let me see. You want to see? I'll tell you why I haven't really been really live. I really kind of look at focusing my attention and direction to people that's kind of minded to go in a certain direction. You know, the old me years ago, I used to do a lot of arguing and fighting and back. I know back in the early 2000s and back, you know, and I made a big name for myself back then, you know, being critics of bad preachers and bad behaviors of preachers. And, you know, there were people that liked them, people that fought, defended these preachers. And every one of them I called out, every one of them have demonstrated, showing themselves to be everything, exactly what I called them out to be. And then you really start looking over time where it take people too long before they start moving to realize, you know, you can't keep eating from bad people. At some point, people got to care more about themselves. And I don't have the time to waste really trying to entertain people anymore. My end is really trying to educate people. Especially people of color. And I say that for the fact that we're so high strong for emotions, you know, from the singing, from the instruments to buffoonery and other things that we do, yelling and running and jumping all over the seats. And we miss a lot of informative information that we really need to make sure that we're on the right path. I think we lost that. Even with preachers, you know, the back and fight, bittering of this preacher wrong, this part of religion wrong, this part. I just don't have that energy and time anymore. So I just kind of focus myself in on, you know, people that really kind of set themselves in mind to say, you know, I just want to get this thing right. So to kind of answer your question, that's kind of me, Neil. You know, you've been white, you know me, you know, for years, I fought with people and fought back and forth, tooth and nail, trying to get people to see this. You just realize, you know, it ain't worth fighting at a point to where that's not something people want to do. But you know, I love people, man. Everybody, I love them. I just ain't got that time to keep fighting with everybody. So I just got, you know, people that listen, we lock in, we have real conversations, kind of like what we do here, and we engage and we deal with situations. And we really try to look at, you know, the word for what it really is and not interpretations, and just try to, you know, make sure we minded to get this thing right at the end of the day. I hope that kind of answered the question. And love doctor, what else we got? Good morning, Elsa. Why don't you tell them about your segment on love? Can you explain to them, just say like me, if I was looking for a woman to be married, what kind of woman would I need to look for? What advice would you give?
I can't help everybody.
For the record,
a woman just like Thule.
They'll hear tell me somebody old, somebody great.
No.
Somebody past my age and time. This woman has great. My hair was not like that. You know what happened? Why I got this in my hair? I laid on her pillow one night. When I woke up, I seen this. I won't be doing it again.
You obtain wisdom.
That's what you said.
What I said?
That's what you told your grandkids.
Yeah,
That it was wisdom.
But yeah, I mean, I gotta, you gotta tell. I mean, I'm smarter than that. It is wisdom because I won't be laying on her pill again. Look at that.
Thank you.
That stuff is white in my hair. That, you know what happened? You don't water black off my hair. Then I still got you around here blacking.
Hey, I didn't make myself.
Whatever. You're not gonna blame it on my creator. Like, you're not gonna put it on my.
Wow.
So what we're gonna do? What about love and happiness? What we're gonna tell people about love? We used to tell everybody at periodic. We had a segment. We talked to them about love and relationship. What we're gonna tell them about?
Hey, y'all, I tell you what I'll do. For the next 15 minutes, y'all call in. I answer whatever question you have. Call in.
What stop?
I need for them to hit the cash out. Ain't that right, too?
You're gonna answer with another question.
You're not gonna do it.
Hit that cash out.
Put that wisdom.
I don't work for free.
You like it? Why? That what
I
you
work
call
for free. Ain't nothing like
You like it.
I don't work for free.
My money.
Y'all have to pay for. Listen, all this knowledge I got, I had to pay for.
Oh.
Y'all get your tennis shoes. You spend hundreds of dollars on your tennis shoes. You spend all this money on your eyelashes, on your fingernails. Need to spend some of it on your information to help make you better. Two most important decisions you're gonna ever make in life. That's in regards to religion, and that's in regards to relationship. These kids need to learn about religion, they need to learn about relationship. Them the two most important decisions you're gonna make in your life. You make them two, everything else take care of itself. That's all.
What you gonna tell them about relationship?
What you need to know? What y'all want to know about relationship? What you want to need to know? Rule number one. I'm gonna tell y'all rule number one because a lot of people don't understand rule number one. And this got to be the number one deal breaker. Deal breaker, they got to be a certain height. Yeah. Deal breaker this, deal breaker that. No. Let me tell you the number one deal breaker. The number one deal breaker is they got to like you just as much as you like them. That's the number one deal breaker right there.
I think it never happens.
Please come on with your own.
Nobody can't. Hold on. No, he took your.
That's true. That's Mitty's advice.
That's it. He knows that he gonna take my. Please come on.
You just took my wife.
You gotta like the person you're with. That's what Mitty says all the time.
That's because she read my book. I'm an author. She read my book.
A confusion.
I guarantee you.
That's what the problem is. A lot of times these people be in unbalanced relationship where the other person don't like them as much as they like them. It's unbalanced.
So you tell me so a person sitting in a relationship with somebody say, I love you with all my heart, and the other person saying, I like you, and they saying they've been in a relationship. Who's doing that?
That's wrong.
No, nobody's doing that. Come on.
It's the effort you want to put.
Yeah, it is. Let me tell you what.
How do you know a person? Since you brought it up.
That's rule number one. Hold on.
I
wrote a book about relationship. Anybody else author? Am I the only author? Anybody else an author?
Yes.
Yes.
That bust him up. Yes. I wrote.
You with the wrong crowd. You with the wrong crowd.
Rule number two.
Rule number two. One straighten out first, and then you got two.
Rule number two. I'm giving away the sauce tonight. I'm giving away the sauce tonight because Thule blink if they been hitting the cash out. All right, Thule just blink. So that means y'all hitting the cash out.
You blink, hit the cash out. We got to get that man. Listen, we're trying to buy that man a brain. If we get Dr. Frankenstein, great grandson to come in, maybe he can put one in his head. So please hit the cash out.
I deal with all these couples, all these counselors. I'm telling you, rule number one, you need to love who love you. That's what it is. Number two.
Okay, what if the person ugly?
Love whoever love you.
No, that's it. Man, you can't just love no anybody. What if it's the same sex?
Love who love you, okay? You need to like who like you.
Sometimes somebody loves you, that doesn't mean you gotta love them back.
Love them back. That's crazy. Why would you
stop liking people who don't like you?
I cannot.
You can't love
you can't control that.
Crazy.
Yeah, you can. Listen. I learned this right here. I was 17 years old. I remember I was working at Walgreens. I was a cashier at Walgreens, and this drunk man came in there, and he was all drunk. And the moment I looked at him, I say, "Hey, ain't you my high school teacher?" He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Well, let me give you some advice." He said, "Just as easy to fall in love with a rich woman as it is with a poor woman. Fall in love with some woman that's going somewhere, and quit falling in love with these poor women. Love who love you."
Hold on for a minute. What
Number
you
two.
got to do with your drunk teacher?
Hey,
So he took
So-
advice from a
so-
drunk teacher, preacher.
so,
That's
You
why
so
he
what you
said
gotta do?
the man educated you. You should have knew right then. Don't give nobody no advice once you meet your teacher drunk and you in 17 years just out of high school, and that was your senior teacher. You ought not don't give nobody no advice. That's rule number 3. Rule number 3 is forget 2 and 1 and forget you.
Listen,
Oh my God.
all I want to tell you, he that ever heal, let him heal. It's somebody out there heard what I said. This message ain't for everybody. Number
He
2,
done had-
y'all ready for number 2?
6 minutes so you don't have to hear that foolishness. That sounds crazy.
Let me give you number 2. Number 2 is
Uh-oh.
the reasons why relationships fail. All relationships fail because of one reason and one reason only. Y'all ready for that?
Go ahead.
Relationships fail because someone is being inconsiderate. That's it right there. That's the reason why relationships fail. Relationships fail if somebody's being inconsiderate. It don't take one person to be inconsiderate. Inconsiderate can mean a whole plethora of things. They out there
Yeah,
spending money.
you
They
what I'm saying.
spending the rent money on everything else. They inconsiderate. They want to have 5, 6, 7, 8 women, 5, 6, 7, 8 dudes. They being inconsiderate.
So should you just do
Relationships fail because people out there in them street being inconsiderate. There it is. Tuli, keep blanking. Tuli, you just blanked again? No, she didn't blank no more. So I got to stop right there with number 2. I
She
can't give out
blinked.
no
She
more
blinked.
advice.
She did. She
Can't give out
blinked.
no more advice. What I'm doing, I'm out here trying to help people because y'all got kids out here who know how to do math problems, kids out here who know how to spell, but they don't know nothing about being in a relationship. They don't know a good man when they see it.
Why
They
you
don't know a
being
good woman
passionate
when they
right
see
now?
it.
Said, dang, Dwayne, I thought you were about to take off. They cut you down. He right, we cutting you down. That makes no
Hey.
sense.
Hey.
The crazy statement. Folks saying, but
Hey,
look
that's
at
what
the
we
people
doing.
saying, man, we losing people. Never take advice from people under influence of drugs. Just saying. Thank you.
Let me tell you something. Let me
Let
tell you something. Like I said last week, if you keep your ear to the ground, you can hear the streets talking.
He is wild tonight. They're right. The streets
He
are
is.
talking. Streets talking about what's wrong with you.
The streets is talking tonight.
Somebody said
Anybody on the
something.
side of my board, the streets is talking tonight.
Somebody said, keep blinking. This man losing it, man. Listen, then you say, man, your relationship advice is terrible. Love whoever love you, even if they ugly, even if it's the same sex. That's crazy.
Hey, let me tell you something. First of all, Tuli, I want you to make sure you answer my phone call when we split up this Cash App money, because I be calling you about the Cash App money after the show, and you'll be answering my call now. So don't do that tonight. We get some
Somebody
good
probably
money tonight.
said
I want
nothing.
that.
We
Get
probably
split up
lost
tonight.
people.
I'm giving
We
Cash
probably
App
had people,
tonight.
we had people gonna support us till they heard your lame excuse. So love
Hey, I'm
whoever
trying to
love
help
you. It make no sense.
I told you, can't look. My grandma already told me you can't help everybody. You can't help everybody. You can't do it. Listen, let me tell you something. If it's just one person out there on the sound of my voice, I know I've done my job. This right here is just a one.
For the record, somebody out here tell him that he's done nothing for you. Some people will take respect and honesty of love. So what you gonna do with that?
Ain't nothing to do with it.
Oh my God! Before you
Ain't nothing to
wonder
do with it.
what's wrong with Dwayne, ask what's wrong with him.
That's what's right with him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's something like that.
Turtleneck on drugs,
No,
gone mad.
I
Hey,
believe
don't
that.
hate on the turtleneck.
I
Listen,
believe
don't
it.
hate on the turtleneck.
It's something. That was 105 degrees
I got
today.
Andrew, that was pretty good. Andrew, that was pretty good. That was creative, Andrew.
It was.
That was good right there. Turtleneck on drugs gone mad. I like that.
The man is gone.
That was not love. He's not giving you love.
The
You
man
can't
is
love him back.
losing. The man is
So
losing.
accurate.
The man trying to help out tell you the turtleneck is on drugs, man. What you saying?
Why you
Tuli,
doing this?
What do
Yeah,
you
and we get more
tell an
contributions.
ugly man that's trying to get a woman to love him?
I can't put no more info out there. Tula done stop blinking. She done stop blinking. I mean, they ain't giving no more.
Somebody please put some of that cash out. I need to hear this. What do you tell an ugly man who's trying to get a woman? She blinks, so maybe somebody somebody please send some. Please send some. I need to find out. What do you tell an ugly man who's trying to get a wife?
Why are you,
You know
like
what?
that?
And get him good advice. Let me hear it.
Huh?
I just
Somebody
told you,
gonna
go back to rule number 1. Love who love you.
Okay,
Like
I just
who
told
like
you ugly and nobody loves them and nobody
Hold on,
likes
hold on. It's just this simple. love who love you, period. That's it. Like who like you, period. All that other stuff, take care of itself. It's too many people out here falling in love with people that don't love them.
So
that's the problem with all these relationships.
Some people
The
can't
girl
help
relate that
it.
into
They
you.
fall for people.
The dude relate that into you.
Resident Joe, you're a psychiatrist. What is wrong with this man? A therapist. What is wrong with this man?
I am concerned at this very moment.
This man said, so you tell an ugly man to love who love him when he's telling you nobody loves him, nobody likes him. How does he get a woman to love him or like him?
How do you even know they like you or love you if you don't get to know them? You skipped a whole bunch of steps.
It's easy. So I answered that question. Matter of fact, repeat that question one more time so the people who just tuned in can hear you, Dr. Joe. You asked a great question.
How do you know someone likes you or loves you if you haven't?
All right. Stop. All right, let me ask the question now. Quit talking. You ask the question and you stop. That's the way this works. All right.
You know how it works?
Listen,
oh my God. I'm impressed.
Listen, if you want to know the answer to that question, all you got to do is ask yourself this one question.
What's the question?
Whenever you call the girl, does she keep returning your calls? If the answer is yes, then she the one.
So if the woman
that's really bad.
If she returns,
you know how many women? You know how many women are obsessed with some men?
Dr. Joe, when your husband called you, did you return his calls?
That's my husband. I need to return his calls.
Hey, well, that's how you know he the one.
I'm married to him.
That's how you know he the one. Before y'all got married, when he called you, did you return his call?
Not at the beginning. Sometimes I wouldn't.
Listen, the answer is yes, she does return his call. That's how she knows.
And sometimes he wouldn't return my calls.
I already interviewed your friend. Your friend said you head over heels about you for your husband. You return that man call, his beeper pages, all that stuff. That's how you know. If the one returning your calls, doggone, she the one right there. That's the one.
You skipped a whole bunch of steps, and sometimes
I get straight to the point.
Men are busy. They're not returning the calls all the time, or women are busy and they're not returning the call all the time.
Listen.
Why is she laughing?
Listen.
She gave up.
She gave up. This hot take right here. Listen, you got people who usually pay me for sessions to get this information.
You know, I thought you
keep blinking, and y'all put in the cash out. I'm dropping to you now. Knowledge.
As you tell. I know. I thought he's been saying sick. I was like, boy, stop.
Did your girlfriend return your phone calls all the time at the beginning? Don't lie.
They probably did.
Listen what you just said. You said, does she always return my phone calls?
No, I did not say that. I didn't say that.
Answer the question is, if she keep returning your call, that's how you know she the one. Ladies, if you want a dude and you want to know if that dude the one, did that dude respond to your call? Do you keep returning your calls? I'm tired of a lot of these women out here falling in love with dudes that don't even return their call. I can look at some of them and tell what the problem is. The dude only answer you, doggone it, what? Maybe 2 days out the week. He respond, call you a week later. Hey, yeah, I see you missed call. What's up? What's up, girl?
Do y'all see this?
I'm trying to help people.
People are hashtag facts.
That's what we doing. We out here dropping
Richard, I am sure that sometimes they did not return their calls back. And this doesn't mean, look at them now. It just happens in a relationship at the beginning. You don't return the call right back.
You get it right now. Hashtag facts.
Hey, no.
We gotta get a therapist.
That's wisdom right there. That's wisdom.
That's
wisdom.
You think about
Hey, let me, you know what, Rob, I got a story I want to tell you. Can I tell you a story real quick?
What about him? You're too hyper right now.
Let me tell you something. Hey, Rob, I got a grandson. My grandson, I was holding him up in my hair. He said, Papa, you got something on your head. What that's on your head, Papa? I say, that wisdom, son.
Oh my gosh. You are so whack.
Man, what is wrong with you? Here your best question. That's your best statement right there. Thank you, Ted. Infrastructure. Hit with infrastructure, because you don't mess this up so bad. People don't know what.
Please use your infrastructure word. Right now is your time.
Thank you. Brandon asked a question. He want to know, Pastor, what do you think about women wearing fake eyelashes? Brandon, I think that if a woman wears fake eyelashes, that's where she's at in her life, and she feels like that is a part of her. It creates her and it helps beautify her. This is not a woman that I would personally look to for a relationship or for me to be involved with, because I'm a person that wants to be me, and I want to be the better me with the real me. You have,
let's talk about that. Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you said a person you won't want to be, okay, so would you not still want to talk to the person, or maybe she doesn't feel that she's beautiful without them, or as pretty? Take the opportunity to tell her that she is. She may not have heard that from someone. Would you just say, I don't want to deal with because she wear false eyelashes? I don't.
Well, let me say this again. That's all about where you're at in life. What you're trying to do. Do you like a person enough to say, well, I see something deeper, better than the eyelashes? Right. I would like to engage you so I can get you to take off the eyelashes and, get you to see you for you. That's if that's where you at.
What you mean?
I mean, because some women, it could be simple. The eyelashes, get them to take out the eyelashes and get them.
No. We said that's where you're at. Are you talking about the person that?
Yeah, the person. Yeah. I mean, that's all about. No, I'm saying like if that was something I'm doing, if that's where I'm at in my life, where I have that kind of time, I want to engage that. I see that value in you. All those it's gonna be a lot of particulars. I would say this in the past. No. A lot of times it's based off of where you at, where you going, and what you're trying to do. And I say that earnestly because a lot of times, depending on, hey, just say like with Dwayne, you met Stassi, okay? So when you met Stassi, what did you say when you first met?
I saw somebody that wanted to invest time into getting to know more.
But she looked like, come on, what did you see? What did you see? You see eyelash, you see pan, and what moved you to say?
You talking about what clothing, outward appearance that I saw? Okay, I got you. Okay.
And then what did you see that say, I wouldn't mind.
Don't feed him answer. Go ahead, went on.
The conversation.
Okay, you see the conversation. So she having no clothes or nothing, bald head.
No. I mean, you just I just agreed with you. You asked me the question and you answered it, which is yes. I saw the outward.
What did you see physically?
The next thing that I saw was a conversation. Correct.
Dwayne, boy.
Everybody can't talk at the same time now.
I tell everybody can beat you with that baseball bat the same. What did you see?
All right, we're going back to the first thing. What I saw was the outward appearance. Yes, I seen the hair. I saw the pants. I saw all that. The next thing that I saw was the actual conversation. Is that not the answer y'all want me to? I'm just telling you that's what I saw.
That's
what you can express it like, okay, I seen her, and yes, she had this, but it was something about her.
Right, it was her conversation. That's what I'm saying. It was her conversation.
Hold on for a second. But you heard the conversation when you seen the weed, or something I saw about her that say, let me engage her. And from there, I mean, because for me, it would be, okay, I see that, but I see something that make me say, let me speak to her. And, I'm believing in myself, although it might not have been a long watch, that maybe I can, persuade that person, get this person to see a different way. And that could be from the company, but something's going to spark me.
That's right.
For the conversation.
That's right.
That's right. Everything he said is correct. So
You said, what was
let me provide more clarity. All right.
That's a question.
I actually had a conversation with her on the phone before I saw her in person. So her conversation.
Okay.
So that's what I thought I told y'all the story, but I guess you don't remember. Yeah,
walking through the stuff. That's why it threw us. I didn't know if you met her walking through a story.
Yeah. So when I saw her, basically, I'm to the point where I realize you want something pretty, I don't do ugly because ugly take too much alcohol to do ugly. So I don't mess with ugly. But what you want to do is when you really sit down and you start looking for a long-term relationship that can result into marriage and you're serious about it, your whole criteria starts to shift and you really start to value those intangible things. So when I say her conversation, what I really mean is the way that she carried herself, how she was forward-thinking, where she was at in her life, her particular goals, where she was trying to go in a direction in terms of her future, things of that particular nature, where I seen that she actually was going somewhere, she actually headed somewhere. I seen that she had a care about her salvation and things of that nature. And that right there was something that was peculiar in terms of things that I don't see all the time. So it made me want to, when I saw her, it made me want to say, hey, I want to invest more time into getting to know you better. So that's what it was. And I say it was a whole.
Do that. Don't say you want to know you better.
Hold on.
Fix your voice.
About your religious preference before she told you about hers. Did you tell her?
Tula, your microphone's kind of low.
I heard her. You can hear.
I heard it too.
Y'all can't talk while Tula talking. Now they won't let Tula talk.
I'm gonna bring these words back in. I gotta bring these words back in, but just for the show, go ahead. He heard you.
I know he heard me. So you gonna answer?
If you gonna ask the question, what's the question?
All right, sure. Did she know about your religious preferences before she told you about hers?
I don't think she knew the extent of it. I don't think she did. No.
Religious person is.
So your volume coming in and out. I can't hear what you're saying.
All right, now I just listen for the rest of the show. I'm good.
No, I'm saying, well, I can hear you. She asked you, did she know your religious preference?
Did she know?
Oh, I thought I just answered that question.
If
you asked me the same question again. I said I don't know the whole full extent of it. I don't think she really did in the beginning. I really didn't discuss religion too much at all. She was the one that discussed it. I really more so just listened to her talk. I really didn't go into too much detail about mine. I just kind of allowed her to talk.
So when did you bring up your religion or your religion preference?
Later on in the conversation when she brought it up, she brought up hers. So when she brought up hers, she would always talk about religion. I really wasn't a religious type, so I didn't really bring up religion too much.
You
so
weren't a
whenever
religious
she would
type.
bring it up, I just kind of like drop those stuff here.
So you want?
I think my page had something on it, possibly or whatever.
When you say you wasn't religious type, now when exactly before you came here?
So what I mean when I say the religious type, because again, I'm talking about as far as dating. I wasn't the person to pour and shoot religion out on the first date. I wasn't that religious type. Some people will be like, hey, can you say grace? Can you pray over the food? Can you do this? And it's like the first date, they done had so much religious conversations like, whoa. I'm not the person to initiate the whole religious conversation. I'm more so the vibe is let me actually get to know them as a person, because I know from my experience, a lot of people who say that they're religious, they really turn out to be hypocrites. So I'm more so along the lines of, hey, let me really get to know this person, as a friend and see if I want to invest more time into them.
We confused too, Sarah. I don't know. Confederate, how you doing? We listen to Love Doctor about he not religious. He can date. How you doing today?
That's what Love Doctor said? That's what Love Doctor said?
Yeah, he said he's not religious.
Look, there
He's
you
not
go,
religious?
Andrew. That's exactly what you got to do, Andrew. Just let them talk. You ain't got to talk, Andrew. You ain't got to do all that talking. Just let them talk. Just say enough to keep them talking and let them talk. And what they'll be done realize, y'all been talking for weeks. You know everything about them, and they don't even know nothing about you. Cause they talk. Cause women like to talk. They're hard to and you just let them talk.
Wow.
Just let them talk. You know why Tuli mad? Because y'all wasn't letting them talk.
Man, you sick. He's sick. Confederate, how you doing? That man's sick.
I'm all right, Rob. Let me go on and get my salutations out of the way, if you will.
Yeah.
Starting from my bottom right to Dr. Commissioner. Well, we're gonna go Commissioner Dr. Miss Tooley, then to the Love Doctor, which he is the authenticator of the turtleneck. To Resident Joe, Dr. Joe, to last but not least, the one and only, the Honorable Tony Smith. This is your neighbor, Confederate State 48, saying hit that like button, hit that share, hit that subscription, and hit the cash out.
Hit the cash out.
Yeah.
Just elated to be here on the show tonight. Want to give a shout out to Andrick Wright, Ock Wright, to Ock Lawson, to all the way of y'all Senegal, everyone that respected places, everyone that was instrumental in the campaign that catapulted Miss Tooley to that victory, that landslide victory. You know, I knew it. I knew at the moment she threw her proverbial hat in the ring that she was going to be the prime candidate and she going to be the incumbent for many years to come. And we about to see some change. It might even prompt me to move to Rockdale County. But I'm just glad to be here tonight. My wife, I thank y'all all. I do for everyone tuned off, everyone that extended their law on behalf of my wife. You know, the surgery went successful for the most part. Just she just in recovery right now. We still got a long ways to go. Got a couple more procedures to do and a lot more labs and stuff, results, but we know who's in charge. And we know that if he be for us, who can be against us and win. So, you know, I reached out to Ra. I know that man is so busy. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, this man literally he got back with me quicker than Jimmy John's. Y'all know how quick Jimmy John's is if you ever ate with them. So, and I really needed it. It was a really trying dark moment for me because, you know, the many years we've been together, she's never been sick, never been hospitalized, and this was like new territory for me with her. So Yahuwah did pull her through, and I'm eternally grateful for that. But just hearing the show tonight, I heard a lot of interesting things, but I want to touch on this thing with the Love Doctor and this thing about this mate. Now, you don't wrote a book, sir. You can't be doing that.
Thank you.
You can't be saying that and doing that now.
Man.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm here to help. I'm here to help. Let me about provide clarity. What question you got for me, sir?
So I'm saying you. The question was asked to you. What did you find attractive with the visual, the opposite of your betrothed? So we want the real facts of the matter. We don't want no jargon. We don't want no throwing off. We want the facts, sir, because we know that you are an engineer and that you can engineer and fabricate something to make us believe it. But we're not going for it tonight here on Two Minds in the Mic, and I'll harb you.
I'll harb you too. And I appreciate your question because your question was direct. So I understand your question. So it's okay. Can I give you a direct answer?
Yes, sir.
All right. I would say, hold on. I would say definitely her size. She petite. She wasn't overweight. So that's the first thing I like is her size. Next thing I like, she was easy on the eyes in all the right places. The third thing that I like is that she had her own car. That, crazy. You know what I mean? That, like she was paying for herself. I noticed that I walked into a car like, yeah, okay, that's hers. She paid for that. I be like stuff like that too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Other thing I saw that I like is I saw that she had a keychain to something that looked like her own house key, and I'm like, oh, she got your own place. I like, hey, I did that stuff. Hey, I think, no, this might be the one right here. You know what I'm saying?
You know, you got to, because you know you can get put out every day. So you need somewhere to go.
I'm looking at everything. I was looking at everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So here's the
basically, you liked her more than she liked you at that point.
Yeah. And then, you know, sometimes if it get late in there, yarn, and they got on them little shirts, and that stomach come up, I would check and make sure she had no C-section scars on there or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, listen, if she had a C-section scar, the child wasn't too far behind. So that's, come on, Love Doctor.
C-section scar. Oh,
This
Hey,
guy.
I done seen it all, preach. I done seen it all, preach.
But here's the $1 million question. Can we get an official date as to when you're gonna jump the broom or tie the knot?
So a direct answer to that is yes. I'm gonna make a public announcement when the time is right.
I told you, but you know what?
That was direct answer. That was straight yes.
Miss Tooley. I'm gonna direct this to Miss Tooley.
Yes, sir.
You're not a politician, man, but you that man at the bottom of your screen, he is definitely a politician. That man. He need to be your Secretary of State when you need to make statements or whatever. You need to put him at the podium to speak on behalf, but make sure you proofread his addresses because
he'll never say a whole lot and say nothing.
yes,
there's some unknown and some known. There's some things that we know that we don't know, just like there's some things that we know that we know. That's definitely gonna be him all day long.
Come on.
Talking about all these C-sections.
But Confederate 48, man, I definitely appreciate you. I'm sorry, say what?
Yes, sir.
No, I definitely appreciate
No, I just wanted to say this before I lost this train of thought. I want to say this before I lost my train of thought.
Okay.
Lil Hadassah, she has a cookbook. She has a cookbook that's I don't know if it's on. I think it's on Amazon. You know, those that have little ones and even adults. Let's try to get out and try to patronize that endeavor, Lil Hadassah. That cookbook. I'm gonna place my order as well to get that cookbook. Though I have a granddaughter, she don't do any cooking, but I think it'll be instrumental in her life and in the days or the years to come. She just turned 5 years old, so and that's with everything. That's with making the right choice, for raw products, building not too many chews, and wound management and so many other vendors that we have under this umbrella, this Two Minds in the Mic umbrella. I mean, I don't even see how Miss Tooley do it all. I mean, goodness gracious, she's so versatile. I mean, if you were to make the Sephora pictorial and you would have put the virtuous Asha, the virtuous woman, her face could definitely fit in that mold. I tell you, and Ra taught on it some Shana some years ago, but I tell you, I just don't see how they do it. Ra said he went to bed at 3 a.m. the other morning and was right back up at 5. I think how does this man do this? I'm just but you know what? When you got a drive and a passion for people and to see the betterment of people, the advancement of people, and then with the Ruach behind you, I mean, you can do things that a natural human being can't fathom, because they been start running off their own strength. I believe that, I know, but they still get the job done. And that was a touching story that I had heard when Ra was talking about the people in Rockdale County. I think in Newton County as well. One of the ladies was about to lose her home, and she had called Ra and was telling about it, and that really kind of touched me too, just to know that you have wolves out there that's trying to take people's property and their livelihood, like you said, not an apartment, not a homestead, and Ra went and defended that, and I know that Miss Tooley, she shoulder to shoulder with it, not so much because I know you're a little taller than her, but standing right beside him, to defend, the people, the citizens of Rockdale County and surrounding counties. And I believe it's gonna get infectious, it's gonna go viral, and I just believe that the best is yet to come. I know opposition is gonna come. There's gonna be forces that try to kick up against what y'all are doing down there in Conyers and the surrounding counties, but the battle's already won, but it's not without a fight. I believe that and you can quote me on this. I think Shaul said there was an effectual door open for me, but there are many adversaries. So, but you guys were victorious. I really look up to y'all. I really do. Because y'all really give us a hope, to know that, hey, there's somebody out there that's actually listening, that's actually doing something, and that's actually concerned, and somebody that's not unreachable, you know what I mean? Somebody that you can really identify with. It's from sending water to Mississippi when the water crisis, the talking to the youth in Ghana, my hat goes off to you all. I just really appreciate y'all. I didn't want to take up a lot of time because I got to get back to my wife to make sure that I'm her concierge today. But again, I appreciate y'all having me on tonight. And this goes out to you, Resident Joe, Dr. Joe. Have you dropped that turtle head yet?
Yeah. That's true. What's happening? Everybody, we need to talk about that.
He's been asking a serious, deep question. Wow.
That is deep. She need to. She know.
There hasn't been an opportunity. He's been busy, so
you can leave him one in the toilet.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what you have to do. You have to get a Cologuard box.
That's right.
And put it in that Cologuard box, and then set it up, and then tell them go ahead on and open that thing on up.
Yeah.
And then that way you be in the clear. Because you're almost not a newlywed anymore. Exactly. So you got to get that done before you're newlywed.
Yeah. After how long is it that I'm not a newlywed anymore?
You gotta ask Ra and Miss Tooley that one, because I'm not a professional in that line.
You be up there, you pushing, you getting that, but right now you need to listen. Y'all ain't married till he got to smell something or see something. Yeah, don't leave him that big bump jumper now. You leave that bump jumper because something. Oh my goodness, please don't leave him like that. That's gonna scam. And don't give him that one shape like a J. It go down there and it come back out the toilet. You gotta get him a little small, just a little something, so he'll know we in here together. Have you smelled him before?
Oh my gosh.
She thinking about you hadn't smelled your husband yet.
Don't answer.
Yeah, I think that's more normal. That it's just.
Well, y'all gotta share. How long you gonna try to keep up this facade? Or you gonna?
Different when you smell.
Dwayne, when you gonna take a dump, Dwayne? When you get married?
Oh, listen, I already been warming up for it. I take some nice farts inside. I won't let the window down.
Hold on, man.
Oh yeah, you don't hold it. That's great.
I just fart right there on the bed. I don't let my hand go either.
But he passes gas.
I need somebody to go be in the trenches.
Everybody.
He passed the gas and put and lock the windows.
He don't put in the Dutch oven.
I need somebody in the trenches. I need somebody gonna be there for me. But better for worse.
If you keep that up,
that's disgusting.
She's not gonna be if you keep that up. No.
Before they tell them that's what love is all about, ain't it?
It's okay, Dwayne. I can breathe.
He's a genius.
Before they be on the lookout, though, I'm gonna make a public announcement. I want you to be on the lookout. All right, buddy.
Oh, good. He's gonna make a public announcement when he get ready.
I'm working with my Ra'a. I'm gonna tell you something. Ra'a is a real good premarital counselor. I'm going through my premarital counseling.
Oh yeah.
Complete. As soon as he give me that seal, we're gonna take it on home. So I'm just
all right.
We're gonna have
all my members don't believe in my counseling.
No, he's really good. He's really good.
Richie, you said
I know it.
Have marital counseling constantly with the marital couples. It helps a lot. It helps.
Put a lot of time. I try to help. I try to keep people make a lot of. Arguments, things gonna happen. It's just problem solving, and that's the biggest thing with marriage. Just learn how to problem solve. You get to a lot of wits in with it. Is having people have the patience to put up with you and having the patience to put up with people. Because you're human. So to tell people to go in and have no problems is not practical. You just try to teach people how to problem solve. People say, "Oh, my grandma, my granddaddy, they've been married for 70 years." And I say this to people: it's not about how long you've been married; it's the quality of.
Come on, preacher.
Yeah, those people came through it. You'd be surprised how many people together they there because they ain't got nowhere they can go. It's bad. Don't build a situation for. I mean, people mistake time for, happiness, or that's a good sign. That's not always a good sign. You could be doing something wrong a long time. That's not a good sign.
Right.
You just how to do better. The goal is to do better and to be able to live, be able to live together and have what we call a balance and a harmony. Having people to listen to understand that what does it take to balance a marriage, to be, and to still, understand each other, understand yourself. Because you grow. I mean, it's a lot of things you need to learn yourself. Marriage should grow you too.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something that sticks with me when Ra told Miss Tooley years ago, many moons ago, as the old people would say. He said, I'm kind of paraphrasing. You said, I ain't got much right now, but just hang in there with me, and I'm gonna do everything I said I'm gonna do. And here we are, 30 years later.
She's a real one. She's stuck there.
That's a testament of what the quality of marriage is all about, in my opinion. That when Ra said that, because man, we're in a society today that I don't know what that girl sung that song, said, "What have you done for me lately?" But I tell you what, when them vows say through thick and thin, for better or for worse, that's a testament right there, man. And life in general is a struggle in itself. But when you meshing two lives together to be as one, and then trying to get to know each other and knowing yourself in the process, that's a challenge in itself. And for y'all to achieve these milestones that y'all have, man, y'all raised a lot of marriages. I tell you what, my marriage has been fortified through your teaching and through how you and Miss Tooley been together. I can even speak for Resident Joe, Dr. Joe, that you guys, along with her grandparents, have been a pillar, and an example as well. So kudos to y'all, because man, I tell you what, to manage have a marriage, a business, then leading people, dealing with the public, and then keep it all at a balance. Man, come on. It takes a skill set, like I say, to do that.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is. I mean, that's fulfillment.
Appreciate it, people.
I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. I mean, because man, like Ron used to say, we ain't trying to get out of nothing. We're trying to get into something. We're trying to get in. We ain't trying to get out. People looking for every excuse to get out of marriage and relationship because she burnt the rice and he came $10 short on the rent. She want a divorce and she want to go tip him because she didn't put cheese on his hamburger, whatever the case may be. But it's bad out here, and people are reducing to just going with the same sex now, being lazy and copping out, talking about there ain't no good men out there. Then if there ain't no good men out there, then you be the good man. There ain't no good women out there, you be that good woman. Be that example. You talk about hypocrites, then you don't be a hypocrite. Then you can be that example, But it's time out for the excuses, I don't get it. You got two women. She don't want a man, but she wanted to play the role as a man. I don't understand it. But then I mean, that's not a respectable union in my opinion. Marriage is what we see right here with those two in the middle right there. Miss Tooley and Ra right there. And then at top two, because Dr. Joe, she's married, and then we got a prospect down there at the bottom, the love doctor, his antics. But Ra, once you see his marriage counseling certificate, put him on blast and serve him notice and let him go ahead on him. live stream or send me a DM or something because I want to see this thing. I will. If I have to catch a Greyhound down there to see this, I want to be a part of this. Cause
this
man done wrote books and everything. And he ain't got his wife yet.
Hey, I'm gonna let him know. I'm gonna let him know now. Listen, when I get married, tell him don't be holding me up there too long now. Go ahead, get her married. Let me be on my way. Don't be holding me up.
Yeah, because he go to bed at 6 o'clock. So I already know. We doing his wedding at 8:30 in the morning. That way she got some time.
You're gonna have so much time. Why?
Yeah.
Like just forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
They be, we're gonna get him. We'll be having sex every day. You realize, no, you won't be having it every day.
Yeah.
What's going on, the stuff you gotta do is other things. Once people get past that part of thinking it's just about sex and realize it's about growing with a person, you realize how to be a companion.
There it is.
Yes, well, a lot of times.
Reality
Sex mates. I mean, but it's normal. You know, you're here, I want to be sex mates. People don't think about like what confirmed. My wife had surgery. I had to stay in the hospital before.
I remember that.
I was like, man, I'm at the hospital. I remember she was in the hospital, and I remember I had to go up there and see her and go to work and see her, and we going. It's like she was like, no, don't step in. Go home and get some rest. I like, good, it's here. I'm like, I can't see this here. But I mean, we both been there, had to see each other. You know, you grow. That's something you get to. You think about, wow, as you grow, as you go, it's things change. Your direction change. Things become less important that were important, and you start to value other things and look at other things and consider. You know, you grow with a person. You form a life with a person. You know, and everything that you do kind of, pivots around that person. Everything you do pivots around, and it affects them. So it's a lot you learn, in a relationship, just besides, the sex part, and people, they get to learn to appreciate the person because we only got each other for a little time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about
you said something a couple months ago. I'm going to say it was probably about like in March. You said when you woke up one morning and you said that things did not work, function the way that you wanted them to. And you said that you talked to Miss Tooley and you said Miss Tooley was right there. And you taught a lesson, man. And I mean, you showed raw emotion about that day, man. You said, she was right there by your side. You said, it made you to reconsider and to rethink things. And then you made the statement, said, I can't invest a whole lot of time in people that's not going in the same direction as me, and then that even brought me to tears. I can remember the exact place I was at when you taught that lesson. I got it, after it was, it wasn't live streamed at that point, but you said, man, you was laying in bed and you couldn't do for yourself. And you said, man, you had to depend solely on the fun of another. And that person that was right there by your side was Miss Tooley, man. And you said, I say what I said, I do what you say. And I'm paraphrasing, say that old girl right there. Yeah. Yeah, man, that thing brought me to tears. I said, man, my wife did the same thing for me when I couldn't wipe myself. When I got diagnosed with the cancer in 2021, man, them people told me, saying, your kidney shut down. They're like, man, you in bad shape, and she nursed me back to health with the help of Yahuwah. And and that's what it's about. I'm there for her in the same capacity, and it's like you said, it's not always about the sex, it's about the companionship, because once the thrill is gone, as the man say, when the thrill is gone, what do you have left? You got to have that affection and that camaraderie and that confidant, that person that you can lay and tell your concerns about and what's going on with you. And then sometimes we don't even have to speak on it. They already know what's going on with us. Like we know what's going on with them. Like, Shaul say, know them that labor among you. And who labor amongst you more than your wife does or your husband does. So, we're really Barak people to have the mix that we have. And I want to say to all the wives and all the husbands out there that's doing their job, my hat goes off to you again, sir and ma'am. This is your neighbor, Confederate State 48, saying hit that like, hit that subscription, hit that share, and definitely hit the cash out.
Hit the cash out. Hit the cash.
That's my time for the night. I'll hob y'all.
Please tell your wife, give them a hug and tell her we pull out.
Yes, sir. And Rob, I'm still waiting on my campaign shirt. I know the campaign over, but I when you get time.
Tula, did I not mention about his shirt? I asked her the other day, I said, how many shirts we got left? And she said, they all gone now.
Them collector's items. Put me one on eBay. I'll bid on mine.
No, we can get it. I got one of her signs. I gotta get her to sign. I'm gonna get it in a frame.
Yes, sir.
For her. Put it up there. Get her two, one regular and one a runoff. Get them framed up there. We work, and these people, the way y'all, along with so many other people. But let me tell you about those people. Those members rock the streets. They dance. These people. Resident Joe got up 6:30. She was on the expressway bridge. These people got up 6:30 in the morning. Listen, when we had a run off, all they were looking at, hey, people down here out there will tell you. They know them. They'll tell you.
That time.
People they be like, them yellow shirts. Them people said, they said, if I had a team like y'all, man, y'all were everywhere. People like, man, I seen them shirts everywhere, y'all. But these members got behind it and we pushed it, we did it. They believed in the vision, they believed in the candidate, they believe in what we do. And I fuss at these people a lot too. People don't realize I fuss at them a lot because I show enough love. How I show enough. And I just want to see them make mistakes. I don't want to see them sell themselves short. I don't want them to come up short. I want them to stay unified. That's something I push them on them. Staying tight knit and having each other back. You can do anything, and they saw that. Do anything as long as they keep.
Doctor, stay focused. Before I go, you lived up to your last name. You tilled that ground, my man. You definitely tilled.
He was out there.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, that's all right. We appreciate him too. Definitely. His wife gets better. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody. And not just the way y'all, but they were just on the ground. My in-laws, they were on the ground. They showed up, showed out. Cousins and everybody. Then all the people that posted. There were people posted. We posted. Y'all just did so much.
So much.
Get us this, and we appreciate you. And you didn't work in vain to get a clown or you got somebody that's talented, well qualified to do it, that love people and want the best for everybody. That's what we teach. We appreciate everybody too. I hear the music in the background. Our time winding down. Hey, Love Doctor, you staying long you usually do, man. You do time.
I'm ready. We got to wrap it up.
29. You got a lot of that toilet, but hey, y'all know.
Good job, Love Doctor.
I had to remind him what his contract said.
What happened?
I had to remind him what his contract said.
Thank you. He's supposed to be on
That's
there
right.
to Thank you.
I appreciate you too. You growing.
He won't get no check otherwise. Make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe, and cash out. We appreciate you. But we got big things we want to do with helping people and helping try to recover our kids. Appreciate my wonderful co-host as well. Hey, if anybody asks you, did you mind? You tell me you always mind. Every Thursday night, right here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on two mics in my mind. Hey, if nobody tells us that, hey, we love you. In our language is called a hug. To the Love Doctor, Resident Joe, take us home.
Yeah, yo.
All right, what we gotta do? Y'all know we gotta come up. Everybody gotta come off the dome. We gotta come up with one. Y'all on the side.
Dr. Joe.
The dome.
No. I went last time I went first. Go ahead, Love Doctor. You left.
Yeah, you did. Come on,
we got new people coming in. So I'm telling y'all new people.
Go ahead.
If you keep your ear to the ground, you can hear the streets talking.
You used that last week before that week. Give us something else, man.
I got new people. New people ain't never heard that.
What?
If new people in here tonight, they ain't never heard that.
We done heard it enough for them, so you need to come up with something else. Man, you know
all
what?
Right, I got something else, but Dr. Joe, that you want to go?
Oh.
Be innovational.
Be innovational. Be motivational.
Be aggressive.
What you got?
Hold on. What's yours too? To say it again.
Don't worry about her. What's yours?
All right. Now mine is be inspirational.
About time to come up with something. Be hesitate. Hold on. Just as terrible this week. Thank you so much. That's what.
Thank you.
Thank say you just as terrible this week. Looking at what you did, the same just terrible. Thank you so much.
No, she was talking about you.
No, she's talking to Joe. You know good what she's
talking about.
Oh,
You.
that ain't got my name on it. Nah, you read it. That's in your eye.
Danielle, write the name, please. Danielle Jones.
See that? Look at Black Embassy say you done ran out. That's right. You done run out. Exactly. This man is sick. We appreciate you.
Well, let's hear what you got.
I already talked. Is he sick?
Love doctor.
I did mine after love as a resident Joe.
Oh, it was that quick?
Woo!
There you go, Thule.
Thule, come on. That man is sick.
What? What am I doing? Oh, it's my
I know. Yeah, you wrapping us up, Thule.
No, that was definitely for you, love doctor.
She feel pressure. She feel pressure in the taking your side now.
Whatever. That Darkest. Christian, good to see you all and congrats.
All right, Thule.
Man, we appreciate you, Darkest.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all.
It was a seamstress. We appreciate you, Darkest. You say congratulations. That man, call that man. Say what you got, man. You better let that girl know, man. You done got that check.
Wow.
If you coughing and you dropping a little brown thing in that man, that's that. Go get checked.
All right.
What you got for us, Miss Thule?
All right. Get up from the table if respect is not being served.
Damn. That's all right. Then. What's that?
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good weekend now.
Man, you going what? Man, you just going on somewhere, man, and going white, man. That man coughed up here, man, head sick.
We'll hob you.
Need a diaper. We'll hob y'all. We'll hob you.
Bye-bye.
We're about to take it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Tony and Lee on the radio. Dr. Joe's therapy on the radio. The love doctor going live on the radio. 2 mics and a mind on the radio. Radio, turned up 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 on the radio. 2 nights and a mind. 2 nights and a mind. 2 nights and a mind. 2 nights. Watch this. And a mind.
All right. You do something different. I'll do something different and better. I'm sorry. You do something better. I'll do something better. And we'll all be better together.
Get a Miss Kahia. How about
y'all?